vape, the vape of old. All right,
Isn't that just hitting a hookah and turkey?
pretty much. Where we last left off, Wondrous Company spent their couple days off to collect some items, meet some persons, get some intel, and pursue some various leads and chores and errands around OSS headquarters in Greenwich. And you guys, now fully rested, fully healed, recuperated, being appropriately rearmed and reloaded in your weapons, ammo, spells, munitions, health, and etc., as well as having acquired some additional items for your use, consisting of a experimental, at the moment, Bren machine gun, a ZBD, and two crates of what would be Gammon Bomb grenades for your guys' kind of personal armory and use, as well as having acquired some other new contacts and some additional things that you guys can tap into as time goes on. However, you guys did meet up and did decide to embark on your first mission officially with the OSS. As nothing was pressing at the moment and hadn't had any massive updates, you guys had an open board as to what to choose. Everything from small villages under attack by a rumored magical group to cryptids crossing state lines, ships going missing in the Arctic, and tombs possibly being plundered in Egypt.
Cryptics crossing state lines. Isn't that an FBI concern now?
If they had more than 38s and bars, yeah.
So it's an Interpol problem in national.
What more is there than a bar?
A magical bar. I don't know, you can't kill every cryptid with 308 or 30-6.
30-6. If you can't kill it with 30-6, you can't kill it with anything else.
Magic 30-6. But you guys have opted to, at the lead of your man of the cloth and Eastern European member of the group, to pursue a lead in Capuchin, in the Capuchin Monastery in Palermo, Sicily.
This was mostly because Nikos does not want to meet his cousins again.
Nikos wanted to avoid Greece, sort of.
No. I said I wanted to go there.
Oh, I was interpreting that as you didn't. Okay.
Regardless, after a odd shifting
well, we're committed now.
Odd shifting of votes, the plane has been readied. The crew's getting readied up, and you guys are able to properly equip yourselves with what you might have before embarking on your mission to the Capuchin Monastery. To your understanding, there seems to be a sort of picket line standoff going on around the perimeter of this monastery. It would seem a split in ideologies has caused the inhabitants of the monastery to form two different groups that seem to be arguing over something pertaining to the extraction of bodies from the location. And one group believing that to be an absolute no-no, the other group wanting to do it regardless of any implied ramifications and damaging effects that it may have that nobody seems to want to expand upon. So, you are handed a, Oh?
I said, you're gonna turn the frickin' frogs gay.
Oh no, undead frogs. So, you guys
This is unrelated, but you guys should check out this image I found of a modified DC-3.
Pixar didn't happen.
That's pretty dope. Turbo props.
Triple turbo props.
They put an extra one in the nose.
Why do you need a DC-3 to go that fast? It would fall apart.
Because it can land anywhere and take off on anything. It was primarily used for polar maritime patrol and rescue.
I will add that to the notes for your Southern Hemisphere transport.
Oh, that's from 77.
Oh. we could pretend somebody made it.
I was just curious whether or not, because earlier you mentioned the DC3, and I was curious whether or not the DC3 was in time frame, and that was one of the descendants of the DC3.
Some
He
freaking,
got hit with the tism.
some British mechanic walks up to you, he's like, "Hey mate, I fucking put an extra engine on this thing. What you think?
Oh,
What do you
God.
think?"
Where'd you post that?
In the voice chat.
Ah, okay.
You guys are actually have been traveling and will continually be traveling in a DH-91 Albatross.
Oh?
Well, the experimental version.
Oh, it's got twin tails.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can live with that.
it's a cute little plane. Gets you around. But you guys are properly able to equip, make sure all your ammo is set, make sure everything is good.
My gun
However,
Leroy tried to hook up, didn't come through, did it?
not yet, unfortunately. It might be ready and waiting for you, perhaps, once you guys get back, depending on how long this takes. But you are handed a manila envelope and told to only unseal it once you are in flight. He gives you a brisk little salute, and then it turns to kind of a wave as some of the crew start removing themselves from the area of the plane as it taxis itself onto the short runway. The hatch opens up. At this time, is there any other items that you guys would like to bring with you? Any assets, any weapons within your inventory, anything additional than what is on your persons that you feel you might need?
So we have bunks back at the place, right?
Yeah, you guys got bunks.
I figure I drop everything that I don't really need. Essentially most of my kit, because I figure, are we going in with commandos this time, or are we just going in solo?
Seems it's just you guys and the security detail for the plane itself.
Okay.
Did
That's
we
the
get
case.
diplomatic immunity?
I leave my random stuff, so lab coat, welding goggles I always have.
Very important.
Yes, you gotta have them. Normal stuff I take. Yep, yeah. We're good. We can turn it off if you want. Yeah, that's. I think anything I don't need personally on me is going to be in my
You guys are all able to have like travel packs or like a
Yeah.
smaller piece of luggage with you for like your tools and items. Some of basically the stuff you normally have in your backpack is able to be on you. This is more so pertaining to if you guys want to take any of the crates of gammon bombs, if you want to take the light machine gun, if you want to.
Does anybody
request
actually
additional
want the light machine gun?
ammunition, things like that.
Should keep it on the plane just in case.
I mean, would any of us use it? It's a serious question. I'm not a machine gun man.
An emergency, I presume.
no.
High volume.
I'm fine with my nosing.
Nosing?
I've got my own.
Nosing, whatever.
I got my own. My own creation I can use, so I'll be good without it.
Plus, I got magic too. If it comes for a ranged fight.
I feel as if I lack the physical and storage capacities to carry that around.
I'm thinking, what are the chances that Kobold was able to swipe one of those grenades without drawing too much attention to the fact that he had taken one of those grenades?
Roll me a stealth and a sleight of hand. We'll see if you can pop the crate really quick. You guys got your own kind of like personal armory section. You might be able to slip in there and nab one of them. Because it was two crates of 4 grenades. So you're not stealthy at all. You think you're stealthy, but you're not.
Everyone can see the lump in his pocket.
Actually, no.
I don't say anything.
Everyone sees you make your way over to the crate and open it,
Casual whistling.
including the armorer who just kind of looks over past his tired eyes.
Kicks a pebble.
But they don't see you actually do anything. They just see you. What? No! Get out of here with your banjo music. They see you walk over to it, trying to be inconspicuous, and open it, but then you close it for no reason and walk away.
It's a very well-designed crate, yes.
Can we just get any regular grenades? Not the big ones, just some Mills bombs.
If you want
Or
to try
Mark
to
Is, whatever.
requisition some Mark 1s,
Requisitions?
perhaps you can, if you want to hit up the armor before you dip out.
Right. What's this thing called again?
A Gammon Bomb. It is currently in game images. Scroll up a little ways, you'll see the number 68EX Gammon and the stats for it.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna walk up to the armor and I'm going to ask him if he has any regular hand grenades to spare.
Well,
Never
yeah.
know when you need to assault a trench.
Yeah, of course we got some. To spare, I can't really say. Here you go. Here. He reaches down into the cabinet, scrolls through some papers, pulls one out, slides it over to you, and it's a requisitions and request form. Fill that out, and I'll see if I can get a couple for you.
Fill this
No
out
way.
and make sure you get signature of everybody in your party and all that good stuff.
I'm gonna wave over to Wilhelm and say, Kolbasa, how many grenades do you think we could get away with?
I think 2 per person might be a good number.
That would be 12?
Yeah, I'm not giving you 12 grenades. You can ask for like 2.
How about 6? We split it down middle?
He's giving you a look like I'm not here to barter. I can't barter.
Can
Okay,
I roll
how about-
persuasion?
Or 2
Roll
for
me
both people.
persuasion, and how are you trying to persuade him to give you more than 2?
I'm exactly what I said. We split it down the middle.
Yeah, roll me persuasion. You fucking...
Are you sure you're not a communist?
He looks to you. If they look into the paperwork, I don't know what you wrote on it. So I can't get in trouble for it. If anyone does get in trouble for more than 2 grenades missing...
My
it's-
signature, my problem.
That's why I'm
I have
only
done
gonna
this
give you
before.
4. And you see him reach over, start grabbing a couple, puts them in a little crate with some hay in it, and sets the crate down in front of you. You got 4 Mark 1s.
I walk
Sweet.
over, I grab the crate. I'll
That's
carry
fine
it.
by me. That's fine by me. You get to sign the paperwork then.
Nope, you're signing. I'm carrying. I'm pack mule. You're the fallback guy.
I'm going to sign the paperwork, Kolbasa.
Hey.
Meanwhile,
Fill out
in
the
a
paperwork.
Meanwhile, in a battlefield far away, Sergeant, we need more grenades.
Opens the crate of grenades. 4 of them are missing. Fuck! The armorer will remember this.
I asked nicely, didn't I?
You did. So,
You
each of
asked
these
me-
Mark 1 grenades does regular grenade damage. Under stats, you'll be able to find it. You got your throwing stat. It is a DC 14 save. The grenade itself does 3d4 piercing in a 15-foot radius.
So 2 for each of us.
You have 4 grenades.
You are the explosives guy, you can take them. I know how to throw them, but I am not explosive.
Okay, I'll dole them out if needed.
That is fine with me.
So
So add 4 Mark 1 grenades to your inventory.
I think we've learned our lesson after last time. Grenades are very useful.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
With your
And the GM has also learned the same lesson, which is why he's only letting us have 4.
yeah.
Let me see if I can find the.
It's
Those
in
Germans
stats
back
a
in
little
the-
ways down.
That's
Those
somehow-
Germans back in the war, they would carry like 30 of them. Why can we not do this? It must be those cutbacks, Chamberlain's fault.
Wartime prioritization. With your newly acquired small crate of hand grenades, your heavy machine gun in its crate, a little bit of extra ammo, and the crates of gammon bombs, are you going to be loading those up with you as well, or leaving them here?
I think we're definitely leaving the machine gun for now.
Okay.
Seeing as
Unless the
nobody-
kobold wants the Bren, then I think we're leaving it. None of us, it doesn't really fit into any of our wheelhouses.
Alright. So,
I mean, if it might fit into mine, but as of right now, I like what I have. So
alright. So a little bit of extra ammo, some happiness
Famous
of
last
life
words.
items, a crate of hand grenades, and one not snuck away gammon bomb in Torin's pocket. You guys find yourselves heading over to the plane, hopping in as it spools up, and you find yourselves taking off and beginning your nice long flight adventure to Sicily. Let me go here and pan us over as we do a nice little fast forward of sorts.
what's the save for a grenade? Is it Dex?
It is a DC. What is it? Where did I put it? It should be in the stats.
DC 14. I
yeah,
see that.
DC 14 deck save.
Yeah. Oh, it is Dex save. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
And then damage is going to be
3d4 piercing
3d4.
in a 15-foot radius. So while you guys are in flight, who of you would have been handed the envelope, you think?
Probably the Peter, because this is kind of like his gambit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all voted on it. Alright, I guess I'll open the envelope then.
I mean,
Alright,
are
so-
you a British person handing a southern talking snake from Louisiana?
Probably not.
People don't always trust to hand me things.
Or a kobold that isn't legally a person. Or Shudders,
You don't
a
know that.
German.
Save half damage.
Uh-huh.
Or Shudder's a German. Alright, so while you guys are all sitting cozy in your plane, you realize accompanying you is the pilot and
Got
co-pilot.
the letter.
Nope. You have your... Oh god, that'd be hilarious. You have your pilot and co-pilot up front. You have your navigators sitting a little bit behind them. And in the very back of the plane, next to what seems to be two crates of small arms, assumedly maybe some bolt-action rifles and some ammo for them, is two very civilian, kind of adventurer-attired, obvious British commandos. And they're just kind of bullshitting and talking to each other. You get the implication that these are going to be the only two assets you have going with you, and they're exclusively going to be guarding the plane and keeping it and your landing area safe.
I was
As
gonna say, is the plane our base station essentially?
essentially, for the time being, when you're on mission, usually it will be. Let me send
Okay.
you the envelope, and feel free to read this to the party.
This
As-
is a mimic. You all die.
Oh god. As you open up the manila envelope, and a large sheet of paper, properly typed out on, falls out of it.
You're gonna make me have to expand this across my whole screen.
By the way, Luke. I need you at some point to make me a small and a tiny token. I'll send you an image.
Send me the images, I'll get working on that at some point.
It's actually for my character.
Yeah.
So
Anyways, give me that briefing.
All right. So I'm going to open the letter, look at it over for a minute, and Pip and what ho? Mission statement? After, okay, I can't do that. That's not going to keep up.
can
Mission
imagine-
statement.
The
Yeah,
Russian,
Destroy.
the
doing
Russian
that.
trying to be British.
Nope. Yeah, I was going to go for that, but I cannot do that. I cannot keep that up. That's not going to last.
Can I do it? I'm just kidding.
I mean, do you want to? Do you want to read it?
I'll read it in British.
I don't think the accent of the letter matters very much.
Don't tell me what
Yes, but
matters.
it would be funny. Try and imitate that Lieutenant Gygax.
It would be. Listen here, chops.
I accidentally closed out my game. So.
Mission statement. Destroy after reading. Wondrous Company is to take transport to Pallavicino, Sicily, and land at the only remaining private airstrip in Sicily not under nationalist control, just 3 miles north of Palermo. A member of the monastery's inhabitants will meet with Wondrous Company and escort you to the monastic grounds to consult and handle the situation at hand. That's some redundant wording. The situation has not been known, its happenings, or updates for 3 days, with the last report being the call for aid of a senior member of the inhabitants' order asking for assistance in resolving the situation, Father Antoni Pascavelli. I'm gonna post that message in the voice chat, so you can read it for yourself and decide how to pronounce it.
Pascavelli.
Threats from the original founding religious order, the Franciscan Order of Friars, Minor Capuchin, have come to the forefront as a sacrilegious decree to extract the bodies from the holy place and the catacombs underneath it. Underneath it is demanded to be allowed. For undisclosed reasons we do not understand, the extraction of the bodies from this crypt is deemed heretical and bedamning of those whose service to the Almighty God demands uninterrupted rest and peace be mandated. The bodies are not to be allowed extraction. However, understanding of why this is, and perhaps a diplomatic work between the rival parties involved, can reduce this situation while still allowing OSS operations and relations to remain open after these events with the Order of Capuchin. It is stated by Father Antoni the Franciscan Order was to acquire aid of nationalist allies and political personnel to force access, and due to this, you will not be operating alone. An undisclosed number of paladins and soldiers of the Order of Malta have been called upon to uphold a security presence in and around the monastery. Likely the situation scaling up to human walls and pickets of force, likely meaning tensions are higher than desired. Your objective, Wondrous Company, arrive at the airstrip and meet with the representatives of the monastery. Gain entry to the location and attain, if at all possible, the reason why the bodies cannot be extracted in accordance with religious practices. What can be done to resolve said situation and standoff extending to deals and endorsements in the future, Wondrous having full authority to barter and make agreements on behalf of the OSS. Why the bodies are wanted to be extracted by the Franciscan Order of Capuchin, and to what ends, and a peaceful resolution to the standoff. Wondrous Company will return to the airstrip headquarters upon completion of the objective and situation. Allotted assets include gear and attire requested by Wondrous, as well as security detail to safeguard the aircraft while Wondrous is on task. Notes: Wondrous Company has full authority to declare, barter, deal, and create agreements with parties involved. If diplomacy should require it, Wondrous Company shall not let it be known, as knows the Capuchin inhabitants who requested our presence, that England's government, the OSS, or the title Wondrous Company is involved. You are to mask your origin or declare one of your own making. Under no circumstances should you be known to be under the employ of the OSS, but as a private organization contracted by the Capuchin inhabitants.
Oh, is that all?
I really wish they had sent me this beforehand.
Well, I feel like the first thing we should do is kind of come up with a backstory.
First
mean-
thing I think we should do is eat this. Who wants to do it?
Give it to Kobold.
Give.
Do you actually want to? Because that was
I-
mostly a joke.
I mean, I can light a fire and just light it up.
Well, I could dissolve it with my acid,
What kind of paper is it?
but we're on a plane still,
DM?
so I don't.
It's just regular kind of like typed printer paper.
I just open up fire in my hand. I'm like, I can literally just burn it with a fireball.
Are you sure you want to do that on the plane?
Open up the back
Might
hatch.
not be a good idea.
Oh, we don't have a back hatch. Open up the side door. I'm just gonna burn it in my hand.
What do the I'm assuming the other crew of this plane are looking at us, watching us do
A
this.
little bit, yeah. They're kind of looking over at you like,
Do they have any comments here?
nah. They're just judging you silently.
You guys have like a butt bucket or something like that we can throw it in, and then light that on fire.
Just give it to me.
Okay, fine. Give it to the kobold.
Okay, I'm gonna hand the kobold the paper. You're really going to eat this?
Kobold frustratedly crumples it up and it fucking pops it in his mouth and has a few moments of unpleasant expressions.
Okay then, that is good to know that you can do that.
Everybody can do it, but. By the way, while we're sitting on this, oh well, not now that we've destroyed that. So what's our backstory? Do we want to just be kind of like a mercenary band that came with you, Peter, since your order is almost like pairing this order?
Possibly. There is another one we could do if we really want to stir up some political tensions.
Are we being
You
French?
know that Germany and Italy are having, I believe the English call it a row over something to do with Austria right now. We could say you, Kolbasa, are a member of what is it, the SA they have in Germany?
I believe it'd be called the SS.
Yes, and we have come with you doing, I don't know, whatever it is they do. That would very much direct anything away from British interests,
From what
British concepts.
I've seen and heard of them doing, they're very heavy-handed with their enforcement of the law of the land currently. Is the best way I can put it.
Wouldn't it make more sense?
Oh, that
just to
would
avoid
work.
Any claims of allegiance at all.
What was that?
We have to come up with some kind of story.
I feel like it's one of those things, have it in your backhand, but don't necessarily show it until you're asked.
I feel
Fair.
like being a mercenary company might be better. Because they might ask questions if we say we're aligned with a government.
We
Perhaps
are
we-
a mercenary company.
Well, that's why I figured mercenary band contracted by Peter's order and assisting Peter in any type of heavy-handed dealings that could turn south, but with the initial goal of trying to handle this diplomatically through the Russian.
I'm just in it for the money.
Yes.
I
that is
figured you would be
part-
in it for the history.
No, that was my story.
It's
I
very
suppose
convincing.
that would work.
That way we don't have to align ourselves with governments and try to, you know.
If we are pressed on it, it might be best to, instead of leading to OSS, lead to regular SS.
So the good thing is, there's some truth in that, in the fact that you are a cleric of that religious order. Nobody can refute that, and you can prove it. If we start the SS line, it kind of is like, all right, well, now we need to try to pull a truth out of somewhere, rather than using a truth to assist our lie, if that makes sense.
I suppose.
I'm just in it for the money. I'm gonna go have the pilots teach me how to fly the plane now.
Get on your feet to reach the pedals.
You don't need rudders.
I'm gonna get in a seat and buckle up.
He's not
Does
gonna
anybody
actually...
need me to fix any of their weapons or armor for them? And by that I mean I can make certain prototype advancements while we're in the air.
All right. So we'll
Y'all
pan
have
on-
access to armor?
What's that?
Y'all have armor?
Just Torin is going to spend the next 2 hours incessantly questioning the pilots about every flight control.
That's what I was
by
gonna
that, you
get
need
at.
skill.
Is
Oh.
Torn? I'd like you to give me 2 intelligence rolls. Other than being able to actually get hands-on, if you had to sit down and repeat, at least in this aircraft, and any that are relatively similar in layout and design, you would be able to get it spooled up at the very least.
Fucking sweet.
So add a very minor knowledge of 2-engine plane startup to your fucking
Where would I
retinue
put
of
this?
knowledge. Somewhere in your notes or somewhere on the side, maybe.
Peter, if I may, can I see your rifle?
I'm gonna hand you my rifle. You know what my rifle is, right?
Is
Out
it
of character.
Mosin? Is it Mosin?
No, it's a Winchester 1895 with a stripper clip guide
Gotcha.
and a
that
bayonet
one-
lug.
Cool. So I take it to the I put on the essentially the deck of the plane, and I
Floor.
disassemble it real quick. And with like certain pieces, I like kind of like chant over it or like kind of speak over it and stuff like that. And you see like moderate glows to pieces of it, like the hammer for it and the like just certain minute kind of magical magical enhancements, for lack of a better word. And I will do this and this for you.
Jesus.
I
Holy
apologize for the giant thing, but the bottom one's the main thing you want to know.
Hey, I have rifle of +1.
+1 is
Attack
pretty
and
good.
defense. Or attack and damage.
All right, so +1 to your attack and damage rolls with your lever action.
Here, this is my rifle. Discord, let me paste. There we go. With bayonet.
With bayonet.
A lever action bayonet. That's pretty cool, actually.
Right.
That's sick. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty common on the used market for a long time, but I don't know if that's true anymore.
It's not.
No,
They spiked up in price after people discovered them with Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not surprised.
They are
Meanwhile,
cool as hell, though.
There's a dangerous haze of smoke in the back of the plane, but it's just Leroy having his moment.
Leroy's just sitting back having a smoke, talking with the other two.
He's sitting in the plane's lavatory hotboxing it with tobacco.
Smoke pouring out from under the door.
Hey, you okay there, buddy?
Oh
I
my
fear that man has a problem.
He's fine, I'm sure.
He's a dude. He's asleep on the toilet with his pipe burning in one.
Is Red here?
Yeah. He
No,
will be
not
in a
yet.
bit,
No.
though.
He said he had to take a shower.
Oh, okay.
All right, so now we will pan on over as it's a relatively shorter flight.
Probably the shortest flight we have, actually.
You know, for the most part, yeah. As you fly your way on over, and you find yourselves passing just over the eastern side of Spain, curling around over Algiers and old school Carthage, and entering into Palermo, Sicily.
What does that part do? That part. How about that? Oh,
Oh, jeez.
I sure hope that kobold up there knows what he's doing. I'd rather not die in a massive fireball.
You hear
Over
a
the
call.
shot. Italy.
You
Fly
hear.
the actual plane.
You hear
I
a call
have faith
back
in God
between
we will
the,
make it out of this.
between the two pilots. You see one of them kind of lean back and look over the top of Torn. All right, lads, we're gonna be landing soon. Everybody, get to your seats.
I want to see the landing process.
He looks to you, looks to the co-pilot.
Hang
The
on,
co-pilot
hang on.
looks at him very like, really? Are we gonna make him like we're gonna let him sit up here type look? And they seem to be having an argument visually.
I go up to him. I grab the kobold by the shoulders and be like, "Hey, you have to sit down in the back too. We need to be ready to get out of this plane as soon as possible." And I lead him back.
What type of plane was it? Again?
It was a where was it? I put it somewhere here.
Was it de Havilland Albatross?
Yeah, de Havilland Albatross.
Hey, I looked it up because of the name you gave me.
Yeah. Nah, it's a pretty cool plane.
How many infusions I get?
They only ever made 8 of them.
Yeah.
Oh. Infused items. Okay, I can infuse 2 items. I can only do 1 per day.
We should be flying a PBY instead. Oh, so there's a jump seat behind the pilots on the de Havilland.
Hey, Wilhelm, I didn't get to learn at what
I love
speed
this.
we
You
should
mentioned
load again.
one thing about the aircraft, and immediately,
Yeah.
friggin' Matt just goes crazy on research.
What do you expect from me?
Oh no, I love my nerds. I love my nerd friends.
There you go. I'll put in in-game images. The H-91 Albatross.
Oh, it's so pretty and sleek.
It is a very sleek
Yeah, it is.
plane.
Oh,
It's
that's
a
not
very
twin
nice
engine.
aircraft.
That's
I
four
was gonna
engine.
say for like the 30s, that's beautiful.
Here,
Right,
I found
it is
this.
a 4-engine. My bad.
Found this single picture showing that there is a seat behind the pilots.
Ah, yep.
My God.
It
Yeah,
is
that's a
though.
small picture.
Though we are talking a very nice interior though. We are flying in style. Look at this.
Hey.
Wow. That looks great, actually.
Yeah. Like I said, these are nice-ass planes. If you
We got fucking so
No wonder
much.
they only made 8 of them, including the prototypes.
So we're not just sitting in like jump seats. We're sitting in like leather chairs in the back
Proper
of an aircraft.
seats, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was imagining. Just
We're
like
sitting in
a bench,
recliners.
essentially.
We're sitting
We're sitting in recliner. This is the equivalent of like a private jet. This is like a Saberliner or something.
This is Air Force Zero.
1930s private jet.
I was thinking you guys would like this one. It's a nice plane.
It's nice. I like this a lot.
Shoot, this is the nicest I ever been treated.
It's
We
got-
got-
This is fantastic.
Tables and
galley.
everything.
Ah, wait, Peter, way to post the same image you just did.
Oh, damn.
There's a
At the
galley.
same
with,
time.
Like,
I'm
fucking.
reporting your message to the admin.
Don't you
could
dare!
drink
They'll
for the-
investigate my whole account and it'll be over for me.
You could drink for the entire flight. There's a fucking bar on board.
L.
That's what Leroy is doing.
The Roy is actually just sitting in his own cabin, just smoking his pipe.
Yeah.
We're all chatting back here. He's just sitting up there like, I hate y'all.
He's in the smoking section. Used to be able to smoke on
Yeah,
flights.
it's a good thing I didn't use fire to burn that thing.
Yeah.
Is this aircraft pressurized?
No.
No. Not to my knowledge.
Oh, sorry, 7 planes. Sorry.
So this is the 8th one because this is the prototype.
The experimental, the prototype.
Sure. Including 2 prototypes. They
It's
only ever had
anachronistic
5
by
of
a
them.
year. It's anachronistic by a year. Ah, no.
If it's a prototype, it makes sense.
No, the prototype first flew in 37.
That they told you.
As you guys come in for a landing on this small little private airstrip, it is a single lane little dirt landing strip in the middle of a kind of nice fjord. some trees around, and you can see the surrounding little Greek townships and hamlets everywhere.
Greek, I thought we were in Italy.
You're in
Italian.
Sicily.
Yeah, it's Italian.
Palermo has a lot
Sicilian.
of Greek descent to it.
They're Sicilian. They're their own people.
They're their own people. Shut up. As you guys come in for a nice landing, it touches down. Expert pilots, obviously, and the plane comes to a nice, relaxing halt. Taxis around, comes to a stop as the two commandos, now looking like a brown leather-jacketed dude with a newsboy cap, and the other one wearing a black jacket with like some facet of very dirty old fedora. You can tell they have pistols concealed under their jackets. Open up the door, drop the ladder, step on outside, and start kind of stretching a bit. Alright, feel free to make your way on over. Our contact should be in one of those hangars over there. We'll keep the plane down and steady here.
I take the grenade crate, and I'm walking out with it.
Maybe
you're
you
walking
should
out with the
put
wooden
those-
crate with the rope handle.
Maybe you should put those in a little sack. It is only 4 grenades. They are not very big.
I know, but I'm putting them in the things while we arm up and get ourselves ready. If we're gonna be in the
Maybe we should not be seen carrying big boxes out of the airplane. It might be a little suspicious.
it's our food stores, and I literally put it down, open it up, and pull a bunch of my rations in on top of it. Close it back up. See, food stores.
All right. You tell that to customs.
The box says grenades on it.
The box does, in fact, say grenades on.
Damn it! If I only had paint.
Alright. They still want to know each one of the Albatross actually were named.
Were they really? Oh shit.
Yeah, each one of them had their own name.
Oh.
This one's name is Judy
What?
Garrett.
Harris.
What,
James
what are
Judy
what are the existing names?
Faraday, Franklin, Frobisher, Falcon, Fortuna, Fingal, and Fiona.
Yeah, this one's called Wondrous.
Come on, it's got to be an F name.
Nah.
British were obsessed with that single letter
Fantastic.
thing.
There you go.
The
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Fantastic, I like
it's the
it.
Fantastic, and it's got it written on the side next to the co-pilots.
And for some reason on the tail it says 4. But it's fantastic.
Throw him out the fucking plane. Throw him out the plane. I'm not.
All
Well,
right,
we
yeah,
have
I'm just gonna kick him out the plane while he's holding the box.
Jesus.
No. Oh,
Diplomacy has already broken down.
Fucking a brawl breaks out in the fucking dirt beside the plane.
What did I say about making those jokes? What did I say?
Guys, stop fighting!
Oh my god. As you guys are tussling, one of the guys climbs back up the couple ladder steps and looks to you. Are you coming?
Yes, we are coming. Oh,
Yeah, we're coming.
Alright.
we were having a rather intensive debate about the legality of puns.
I have dad jokes. I'm sorry. I was a dad at one point.
thought we were arguing about the name of the aircraft.
He just kind of shakes his head, goes back down the ladder like, oh god.
What if?
All right, let's get on with it.
All of you are able to unboard over time. You kind of structure your clothing and gear. You're able to find kind of nicer ways to conceal the majority of your weapons with your regular clothing as you did before. However, your primary armaments, you find yourself with a bit of a situation. If you do want to conceal them, you don't necessarily have the means to right now, unless you guys want to find a way to hide your primary weapons.
Well, I can just leave my spear and shield on the plane and can get them back to me no matter where they are, so...
Okay.
In my
Does
big
that
trench coat. has,
Take
like,
time, or like do they have to fly to you, or do they just appear in your hand?
in my
Bonus
trench
action.
coat-
They just appear.
Okay, so
They
they just
disappear?
appear. He's not going to rip a hole in the side of the plane
No,
trying
no,
to recall them, and then we have to wait 15 minutes as they fly from the plane to the
Nah. So
monastery.
long as they're on the same plane,
It's
they
not
can come from
linear.
literally anywhere.
I had
But
this
you are not
image
going
of the,
to be on the plane.
I had
Not
this image
that
of the
kind of
pilot sitting there
plane.
sipping tea, and all of a sudden there's just a
Down and Mjolnir flies out and then lands in his hand.
Doesn't even fly sideways, it flies flat, so it just rips a whole, like,
The
wide
fucking
new hole in the side.
gash in the side of the plane.
Fuck.
So for mine it's easy because I have my my holsters underneath my trench coat, and inside the trench coat there are pocket zones, so I can actually put all the grenades inside the pockets.
Okay.
I'm the only one who's actually going to have issues.
I mean, I do have a Mosin also,
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's
that too.
probably a bit hard to hide.
All right, I have the big Cossack cloak. I guess I'm gonna try and kind of sort of conceal it underneath that. I'm not gonna try super hard though.
Wait,
Alright.
if you allow me, I could sew a nice pocket in there for you.
No.
Kobold has no discernible weapons.
Well, I tried.
Let me see if I can find the picture. Of
I
our
sure hope-
character.
By the way, the most
these-
hilarious thing is all the tools I'm proficient with. Leather workers, thieves, tinkerers, smiths, poisoners, and woodcrafter tools.
Do you have a set of all of that?
I actually can make sets of that with my general abilities.
You know, we're going to a monastery too. They're usually kind of self-sufficient, so they should have one of each.
At least smith's tools, leather workers, and wood carvers.
Yeah.
I sure hope these Sicilians are fine with snake folk.
You know what? I have no idea. Do I know if the Sicilians are okay with snake folks?
Roll me a,
Does that matter?
Roll me a history.
You ignored the two cardinal rules. One of which is don't go into a land war in East Asia, and the second of which is don't bet on a Sicilian when death is on the line.
Oh no. Okay, 19, yeah. Italy is not foreign to its non-human and demi-human types of beings, especially with a lot of its Italian magical history having come back to light. As far as your knowledge of civilized snake folk, not being hydras, gorgons, and other various evil entities, Medusa would be an extension of it. Yeah, you're not really familiar with any non-kill-it-on-sight snakes as far as Italy's concerned. Doesn't mean there might not be some that exist, though.
Hopefully your suit makes them do a double check.
Yeah, I know my accent's gonna be a little off-putting to them, but that's fine. They're gonna have to deal with it.
Wait, guys, what about the Gorgonites?
Brogan?
Gorgonites.
Did you say Brogan?
No, Gorgonites. Small soldiers, Gorgonites.
No.
Commando
James's response to that was a surprised Brogan? James, you've been playing too much H2.
Jesus.
Look, it's fun.
Torrin is just standing awkwardly by these two guys waiting for the rest of you.
Yep.
All right, so I guess we're going over to the hangar that was pointed out.
You'll disembark and you'll see there's one of those really small, like, half hangars sitting there. The door's wide open on it because it doesn't actually have a door. It's just a little open hangar that you can park something in temporarily. This is definitely a small private airstrip that's been relatively untouched and unused.
We need to push the plane in.
No, the plane will be staying outside on the runway.
Okay.
I thought we were going to be here for some period of time rather than a few hours.
They kind of
Or is
look
the
over
plane
to
not
you
fit?
guys. If it'll take you a bit longer, we can taxi it over and stash it. We can hide it if need be. But we got it from here. You guys got whatever your task is. We'll be here.
All right.
Oh, shit, I need to read the paper again. Cobalt, spit it up.
Well, historically speaking, Italians never got along that well in Louisiana. There was that insane Axeman that killed several of them just about 20 years ago.
Let's not bring that up, okay?
Well, they never found him, so
Can we go?
As you guys all group together and start making your way down and across, where did I put this image?
I have no
Let
clue.
me-
Where did you put that
I
image?
don't know, but I'm looking for it.
Oh, I was actually joking.
It has disappeared from my knowledge, which is strange because it shouldn't have. And it now has me confuzzled why it is gone.
I must say, this is quite the delightful climate you have here.
yes, this is much better than snow and ice.
What,
You're going to go
What
find a
is-
nice rock to sun yourself.
what is the,
I just
climate
might.
like right now? What's, what, is it winter right now?
It is early year, about March-ish time frame.
Okay, it wouldn't be
It's
bad here.
springtime for it. Sorry.
It's silly.
Benjamin,
The rumors are true.
winter for Poland and France.
It's actually very very nice and temperate and kind of warm. It's what you would imagine stereotypical Italy and Sicily would be.
The rumors are true.
Smell that
Bagpipe music-
Mediterranean air.
They are ta-
You know, I have never been to the Mediterranean before.
Wilhelm,
It's
who
very
are you
nice.
talking to?
Just in general. As we are walking to the hangar, I'm just kind of saying that.
I've been once on my honeymoon, but it wasn't quite on island. It was actually just the coast of northern Italy.
Oh, you are married?
Was.
Oh, I am sorry for you.
My condolences.
Things happen. Let's just get on with our mission.
I would like all of you to make me a perception check as you guys get nearer to the hangar.
2's across the board, everyone.
Oops. So I apparently have
Damn.
advantage. on it.
One, two, three, four.
I mean, you had twos. You had two twos.
Damn. And who else are we missing here? Oh, okay. Sweet. As you guys
Okay,
approach,
I-
you see walking out from the shade is a nun. And you're like, that's a very tall nun, until the rest of her comes into view with a additional nun walking beside her. One is
It's
human.
3 kobolds in a trench coat.
A bit different. One is a regular human nun.
4
walking by,
kobolds in a
bit
trench
older.
coat.
The other one is towering above all of you except for Hachu, who she's about even eye height with, as a centaur nun comes walking before you.
Okay, I have to know, does her habit go all the way to the ground all around her, or does it, like...
It's sort of like a horse blanket where it
like-
drops like just above the
Okay.
knees type deal.
Okay, okay.
Proper
I'll have
modest
none
nun.
of that.
None of
And
So-
that.
she's an
somebody
anime girl art style! It sticks out!
I know. I couldn't find some of that good art of it, so I'm like, yeah, this works.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
Trying to look up horse.
Somebody's
nun.
gonna have a field day with this one.
The two walk over to you. The centaur is being very silent and kind of leaning back as the other slightly older female nun walks up. Hello, I'm guessing you are the... And she kind of leans forward and looks left and right, and then puts a hand up to her cheek. OSS.
What is this?
mercenaries, yes.
We're
OSS, you
mercenaries
speak
with,
of aggressively winking.
Ah, right.
We are chartered with following Father Peter here.
Right. Well, we're happy to have you. I am Second Novitiate Sister Elizabeth, and this is Second Novitiate Sister Meredith. We're to bring you to the monastery. Is this all of you?
Well, there is a
One guy
currently hutbuxing southern gentleman in the plane.
I
He will be
imagine he'll
along
come
shortly, I presume.
walking up. He'll come walking up behind you guys and kind of be smoking his cigar for a moment.
His eyes are just bright red.
It's a bad shot.
He's mad dogging everyone.
Man.
I assume he's walking behind us with his arms crossed, just mad dogging everyone.
Probably.
So you said you're second sister. What's your rank structure like?
Well, there is
Let me make a religion check on this first.
Oh boy, yeah. If you'd like to roll religion, you can.
So, do you like Ryder or something?
Instant, slightly angry blush from the centaur nun as she looks down at this little kobold. Nobody rides
Ow.
me.
I personally will watch my tone. She has legs that will kick you.
Peter, as you're looking at this, you are familiar with the nun and monastic rankings and orders. There is first novitiate, which is like entry-level nun. Second novitiate, which is after they have taken their first vow. Third novitiate is when they go full-bore celibacy and everything. And then from there is sister. And then sister superior. There is also a small smattering of side rankings equal to standard sister level. It's usually like B billets. So if you were to say, they're both kind of the lance corporals of the nun ranking.
So do they have like a mother superior that reigns over them?
There is a mother superior or sister superior. That would be the head nun of the...
What were their names again? I forgot where to write them down.
Second novitiate Elizabeth and second novitiate Meredith. Or you could just say sister.
Sister Elizabeth and Sister
Which
Meredith.
one's the centaur?
Meredith.
Okay, that makes them very easy to tell apart.
You're welcome.
Meredith.
What do we say? What do we say about this?
This must have been a last-minute decision.
What did we say
No,
about
I
this?
actually made this arc like 2 months ago. I was like, Centaur Nun would be funny. What do I name her? Meredith.
Well, we're ready to help.
Alrighty. Well, right this way then. And the centaur will kind of take point and start leading you guys up this little dirt path through some of the bushes and trees that are surrounding this little private airstrip. I would like Peter and Torin to give me a perception check.
Well, I'm gonna ask them and be like, so do you have to, or have you yet taken vows?
Yes. So as a second novitiate, we have taken our initial vows. Sister Meredith here is actually just a week away from taking her final vow and becoming a full sister.
So what are your vows as of right now?
As a second
Please do
novitiate,
not flirt with the nuns.
is that your intention?
I do not know. He is German, though, so one can only expect.
I have nuns in Austria. I heard one's really good at singing.
I think he is just very curious about your customs as he comes from somewhere else.
Well, as the second novitiate, we have taken vows of celibacy and to refrain ourselves from certain actions.
Has Meredith taken a vow of silence?
Looks back over his shoulder a bit angrily at you. No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Sorry, she hasn't spoken since we've come here. Oh no, you said nobody rides you. I'm
She
sorry.
just
I missed.
scolded me.
Rolls her eyes
Well, I
at
mean,
you
you
and
never-
continues guiding the party.
You don't just ask a centaur if you can ride her. That's just rude.
It makes logistic sense.
Listen, just because you have little legs doesn't mean you just ask
Kobold
everybody if you
isn't
can ride them.
incorrect. We obviously refrain from
Inspiration?
certain
Shop
actions.
Fries
God
for
damn
over
it,
3,000
Fries!
mouth-watering choices.
Why?
I love
I wasn't asking if I could ride her. I was asking if it happened.
It is an applicable question. While we do not ride her, as she is not a service creature, she is usually more than happy to volunteer to carry cumbersome items and attire.
So if there was, let's say, a incursion into your habit, if I'm correct in my wording, and it was a dire need, someone possibly firing a weapon could possibly
Torin
station themselves on your
elbows
back. as you
Wilhelm
rode
in
away.
the thigh.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of put my head on his shoulder, and as he's talking, just steer him a little bit further away from them.
General, I figured that was a good question. I was asking in good ways.
I'm sorry, he's new.
The two of them kind of compose.
Quota for stupid questions. Okay, no.
They kind of compose themselves and continue guiding you, just avoiding a bit of eye contact for a bit. Peter and Torn, as you guys are walking, oddly, Peter doesn't notice it. Torn, you do notice it. I need you to roll
I'm
me
busy.
a...
I'm busy focusing on the on the German right now.
I need you to roll me a history check, Torn.
Sorry, it's only 23.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
it's
What's
only
that?
a 23.
What
Yeah.
the hell, man?
Historian, man.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
You're telling me he can get a 30, is what you're telling me.
Oh yeah, if he nats, it's a 30, which is, yeah. Like I said, I can't hide anything from him
Being
anymore.
at 20s, he sees the fucking Matrix.
I can see your jeans under your jeans.
The internet doesn't exist yet, bro.
He sees the Da Vinci sketch of
The Vitruvian man just pops up in his vision.
Oh god. As you're walking, you realize on their back is the sort of like intricately woven symbol into these specific nuns, as they're part of a military order, whereas regular nuns are completely vague and hidden of any actual iconography. Both of these being from a military order, they have two different symbols, very small ones on their back. One you recognize is a sort of Italian cross, which you can only assume is a Franciscan order Italian, probably one of the original nuns. On the centaur, however, she has, and let me grab the symbol here.
Torin's gonna whisper to Piotr.
These nuns have rank.
Duh, that is how nuns usually work.
No. Military rank.
Should I roll a religion or history check on this?
You can roll religion. Damn. Yeah. As he draws attention to it, you no longer have to look for it as he kind of nudges and points it out to you. Torn, you know this simply from reading a whole lot of books. Peter, you are very familiar with the recent expansion of magic and understanding of holy empowerment. How warrior monks kind of became the lower level of what would be paladins and clerics. Both of these nuns are in fact clerics. One of the Franciscan Order of Capuchin. The other one, the centaur more specifically, has this patch. Very kind of subdued on the small of her back, along her habit. And it is the Knights of Malta crest.
Ah. Okay. What? I have a Knights of Malta ring, right?
You have a Hospitaller Order ring.
Yeah.
You're not
It has the
specifically
same-
one of the Malta.
It has the
but-
same. Yeah, it has the same cross though on it, right?
Exactly. Yep. All Hospitaller orders have that very same
Yeah.
symbology, just different colors or founding or accents to it. based
Yeah.
on
So
the
as we're
reason.
walking, I'm just going to hold up my hand with the ring on it, so that Torin can see and not comment.
Torin
I mean,
listens
he
to
can
yours.
comment. I'm not going to say anything.
Just blurt.
Ah, that's a nice ring you have. I could just.
Oh god.
He doesn't actually. That was a joke.
Alright. So as you see that, and while you're walking along, they guide you. It's not a very long walk at all, as you start entering the outskirts of a bunch of white-walled kind of square housing that's built up on each other, and some of the local shops. As you start entering Palermo proper, there's a handful of cars. There's some iconography. There's some merchants here and there, but largely, everybody seems pretty relaxed of the few people that are actually outside. It's a very nice, quaint little area entering the city from the north. And very quickly, it doesn't take any actual perception check to realize where the monastery is. It's kind of the only hill in the entire city, right in the middle of the city, and it looks like a fucking keep. Normally, monasteries are very pleasant, usually made of wood, look more like an abbey or a small church, maybe a little priory. Maybe it has a brick wall around it. This one straight up has layers of defenses. Like 2 layers of shorter wall along the base of the hill and halfway up the hill, leading to what used to be an old moat that has since then been filled in. And then the actual monastery itself, which looks like a small keep, entirely completed with like old school medieval arrow slit windows that can only be fired out of and not into, parapets on top, a reinforced roof. This used to be a defendable keep, maybe even was used to defend against invasion at one point. As you guys are approaching closer to it, and start to lose sight of it as you enter some slightly taller and larger buildings surrounding the sort of outskirts of this territory, as the human sister looks over and gives a nod to the centaur, who nods back and looks back to all of you. We're going to wait here. She's going to make sure that the perimeter, I think you would call it, is clear for us to pass through. And kind of stops the party on this little cobblestone street that you're at, as the human sister continues walking along ahead of you guys and starts taking a kind of bend around the road.
Is the perimeter dangerous?
Oh, sorry.
I suppose you should be caught up in what's been, well, going on. Myself and some paladins of my order were brought in here to sort of secure the monastery and the area around it as, what do they call themselves? The
Black shirts.
No, none of them are wearing black shirts. Besagliari? I believe. They're Italian army. A angry, short little, not short, taller than you. A somewhat black kobold showed up with some uniformed Italian troops.
The fascist kobold is black.
Oh my god. It's a cobalt dressed in an SS uniform.
It's not an SS uniform. It's not an SS uniform. It's a black shirt.
Oh,
I'm glad he got it.
Does he wear a shirt? This is only kind of this is out of character a little bit. Does the black shirt kobold wear a shirt, or is he just black?
Yes, he does. He is just black.
Can you tell he wears a shirt?
Yes.
Does he have one of the Bersaglieri hats too?
Oh god, no. He kind of looks to all of you. He's a bit taller, a black kobold. I forget his name, but he showed up with some uniformed Italian gentlemen demanding access with some of the Franciscan friars that want to, I'm sure as you know, hopefully, take some of the bodies away from the monastery.
You are besieged by the Italian army, led by a kobold.
Well, they weren't originally there. He showed up with what seemed to be some officially uniformed Italians after the Franciscan monks took exception to us not letting them take the bodies out. He showed up shortly after with them, and then shortly after that, the others of my order showed up, and he left, and then he came back with the Italian army, and now there is a sort of perimeter been drawn isolating them. They allow us nuns to come and go freely, but that is all.
Italian, a kobold dressed like these guys.
Well, that's just great.
I did not think it would take. I thought it would take longer for us to encounter your evil twin.
Evil twin?
I don't have.
He is kobold. You flip colors. He is black kobold. You see joke. He's funny.
Ah, ha, fun. No,
He does not have
I
good
wouldn't
sense of-
say evil, actually. They've been all but nice and accommodating. They've actually been trying to de-escalate, but obviously we can't just hand over these bodies. As I've been told by the nuns that live here, we can't just hand them over. They won't tell me more, though, but they need to stay in the catacombs.
For your
that-
information, Piotr, if you swapped my colors, I'd be blue.
Blue, and then get you a little dirty is black.
Alright,
This thing
Ozek,
is fucking
Leroy,
useless.
to let you know what's happened. We've flown to Italy. We've
We found Torin's evil twin.
we've flown to Italy. We have got off the plane, met some sisters of the monastic order.
One of them is a
and
centaur.
One of them is a centaur named Meredith. The other one is a
Meredith.
Nobody,
Meredith.
nobody
Sorry,
is
I just
allowed to
kinda
ride
had
her.
a list. The other one is a human named Elizabeth. They led us to the town. Elizabeth went in the monastery to make sure everything's all good. We're chilling with Meredith right now until Elizabeth apparently gets back.
And you've
That
been
is your
smoking the
Kamichiak
entire time.
summary for the day.
You've been,
You've been
angrily
following us
smoking
just-
in the back, yeah.
You've been following us just enclosed in a cloud of tobacco smoke.
I'm sorry, are you guys talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear any of that.
Damn it!
Are you on your phone?
No, I'm on my laptop. I decided to unplug the. I've still got dinner cooking. I unplugged the headset. So
Ah, got you. Would you like to wait before your character enters and we can fully catch you up, or?
I'm gonna try and listen in, but I'm gonna sit in the back angrily smoking, as Piotr
Yeah.
put it.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, feel free to listen in, and once you're ready to fully sit down with some food, we'll fully catch you up on what's going on.
I'm microwaving mac and cheese that's meant for stovetop. That's how hungry I am.
Nice.
Meanwhile, he is passing every passive intimidation check so far.
I guess that would be Chris.
God damn.
I guess, can I roll a history check to see how old this monastery is?
You can.
I see you're examining the brickwork.
Based off the brickwork.
God,
It was
not
built
this
in
again.
it's July 1452. Or was it 1453?
No. It was 1455.
I
Can
didn't
I
do too bad.
do a history or religion to see if I can remember anything about
All
the
of you who are history
corpses in the basement?
inclined, feel free to roll me a history check and see what you guys
Oh, I
can
love it.
compile
Damn.
together on your catacombs knowledge.
Judging by the tillings in the moat, I can tell it was filled in approximately date.
I got the religion check, so I don't have a history one. I actually have a higher religion rate than
He's
Matt's
a
character.
Baptist snake.
All right, let's see. What's everybody?
Hang
got
on.
here?
I
A
gotta know.
Baptist and voodoo.
I gotta know, Hachu.
Have a beer.
At your church in southern Louisiana, did they do the snake handling thing? Were you the snake?
Well, we did have this doll that had needles throughout it that was supposed to ward off the evil spirits or something.
Eventually, Hachu might end up remembering this, but out of character, he may have been in his very young years the snake that you occasionally bleed a little bit of blood from for certain practices. He was very
was a
nice and
voodoo
humane, though. His Hatcher father actually did care about him, and, like, didn't want to hurt him. So
All
I
right.
am a Southern Baptist and voodoo snake.
Wait, isn't voodoo Catholic?
no,
Not
Voodoo's
necessarily.
heretical, is what it is.
it's heretical.
Yes.
as shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Voodoo's pagan.
Because Marie, what's her name?
Antoinette?
No.
It's voodoo likes to pretend it is an offshoot of Catholicism.
Okay. Marie.
It's remember how we were discussing the whole Haitian Revolution thing? It came out of that.
Piotr, I need your input.
Oh, Maria Laveau.
For Winter of
Marie
45.
Laveau was a Creole voodoo midwife herbalist, and she basically blended Catholicism and voodoo, I believe.
And African traditional religions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
To
voodoo
make
and
voodoo.
Catholicism. Roman
Yeah.
Catholicism and voodoo.
Jeez.
Yeah, it comes out of the whole Haitian Revolution thing.
Anyway, what
We're
were
not
you
going to get
saying?
into that. I get very impolite when I start discussing that,
What were you saying, Tor?
both in character and out of character.
My my wife really likes it just for the fact that she's in public health and like she was essentially the first public health woman. So, a little different, but anyway, go on
Thank you.
Oh, are you done?
for now.
Uh, But let me get these history checks here. So Nikos, you don't really remember too much. You can tell, it's an old monastery. It's at least a few hundred years old. Tord and Peter competing for 20 and 25 here. The Capuchin Monastery, from what you recall, was in that nice 1500s era, built somewhere around the early 1500s, maybe 1530s.
Summer or
and-
winter?
Early.
Didn't roll that well.
Not that
It
well.
was built in the summer because nobody builds in the winter.
Not that well on this one. Also, it's Sicily. It's always the summer. But it was originally built by the original church that was meant to be was the Santa Maria della, or the Lady of Peace Church. However, they found out that the land and soil under it was really, really shitty, and had to reinforce it. Their idea of reinforcing it was turning it into a defendable keep. It wasn't until a bit later that all these tunnels dug underneath, somebody realized these make for really good catacombs. Let's bury some important people for the church here. And
Bury 'em.
after 2 or 3 people got buried there, 8 did, and then 10, and then they started mummifying them, and then all throughout the 16 and 1700s, they started mummifying them and putting more in there, and it turned into a rival to the Paris catacombs, filled almost entirely with people deemed important to the church.
There is quite the irony in the fact that the church built in the name of the Lady of Peace is perhaps the most well-fortified church I've ever observed.
Leroy, what the fuck
You
are
have
you
not
planning
gotten
to do?
around.
What the fuck is that?
Playing the pinball game.
Apparently.
He's a pinball wizard.
Windows pinball up in here.
Twist.
Over here being a jukebox hero.
Jeez.
The deaf and dumb blind kid.
But yeah, you guys realize it's around early 15, maybe 1530. It started to fall into the hill that it was built on, so they reinforced it as a keep, and very quickly realized, hey, what if we just start mummifying important people to various orders in the church here?
All right, so right quick, looking at this on Google Maps, is this where the catacombs are in real life, or is this like up on the
Yes.
side of the mountain outside of town?
Nope, this is where the catacombs are in real life, or underneath the actual keep and monastery itself.
Okay. It does not look like much of a keep, if I'm being honest.
It's small, but for the region, like it's defendable.
I mean, I guess. It has a wall that has graffiti on it now.
Now is now. Now is not in the future.
So while she's standing there, kind of looking to you, you guys are kind of recounting some of the history of it. She looks back to you. Since we do have a minute, is there any questions you need answered? Anything you probably weren't told already?
Have they removed any bodies yet?
No, thankfully, but they did attempt to. A small group, likely hired by the kobold standing outside and standing with the army. A bunch of ununiformed persons tried to run up and set off a small sort of explosion outside one of the walls, but it didn't do much.
So is there a? I guess my main thought is, I know this is sacred and holy ground. Do you have any issue with undead with the amount of bodies buried beneath, or have you been successful in the fact that they are sanctified?
No, actually, this is sort of, I'll level with you, this is sort of the problem that me and the other paladins are kind of facing, is the nuns here won't really tell us more. They mummified them and buried some of the others. It's a whole catacomb, it's a whole tomb, but they won't really emphasize why these particular people can't be taken away from the grounds. I should also, are any of you kept on this plane by magic?
No.
Not anymore.
What do you mean not anymore?
What?
So,
What?
everyone kind of double takes to you, but she kind of glances past that. The reason being is magic, including our own religious abilities, don't work on the monastery grounds. Something involving the catacombs doesn't allow magic to work.
So, random question. If you were to, let me say, infuse a weapon with...
That infusion would probably fail, just like with my weapons. They are not magically imbued at all once you step foot on the holy ground.
They didn't break, though, right?
No.
Okay, good.
The magic just doesn't work. Anything cast from the outside in, anything attempted to cast well in, none of it works.
Well, Peter, I'm sorry I did that. Looks like it will not be helpful in this,
It will not be harmful either.
I'm assuming you're all armed?
No, of course not. I don't take my weapons with me anywhere and everywhere.
Right.
I
I
have
suggest you keep them all hidden. What?
The kobold is my weapon.
He picks him up and throws him. It is all very comedic. Like, Three Stooges. Charlie Chaplin. Perhaps it would be better if we discussed some of this inside rather than out.
Precisely. Once we can get you all through the barricade and perimeter and into the monastery, I'm pretty sure Mother Superior or our head paladin will be able to properly catch you up more. We're only
So
told what we need to know.
You said that the monks and sisters have no issues ingressing and egressing as they please?
They allow some of us, of the sisters, to come and go, but they haven't allowed any of the soldiers or paladins that have arrived to leave.
I am not wearing a habit. No.
Is there,
You're small enough, we can just put you on a catapult and send you over the
all
wall.
Shouldn't need to. If we can traverse our way through, which is what my sister is checking now, we should be able to walk in without too much notice. If we avoid too many
So-
questions, we should actually be able to get you right up to the front gate.
Do the Italian military force, do they happen to be like in a specific part of the monastery, or are they just doing their own thing wherever, have a camp outside?
They're camped outside and along some of the roads and have occupied some of the buildings surrounding the monastery.
Can I roll like a history check on the Bersagliari?
What are you
so to
specifically
see
trying to remember?
to see whether or not I know that they're like elite Italian troops as opposed to, you know, your generic everyday conscript?
General knowledge on the Bersagliari troops? Yeah, give me a history.
That is the wrong page.
Do you have any way to sneak some items in by chance?
Are you trying to smuggle things into a monastery?
We could, but it'll have to be done practically. You can't necessarily magically do it.
See, that's the problem. I can teleport my spear and shield to me, but it's magic, so I don't know if it'll work. Probably won't work once we get into the monastery.
Would you like to borrow my sword?
Sure.
My act.
You have an axe?
No, it's for some reason it just felt right.
Well, actually, I do have a short sword on me, I suppose.
It's my cobalt.
That's right.
You have firearms, you can bring them in. You're not... We asked for your help. I understand if you're armed, just try to not let it be known you're heavily armed.
By God, they
Right.
support conceal carry. By
I
God.
look at her, I go, does this consider heavily armed? I open my coat jacket with 4 grenades in there and 2 pistols.
Personally, I do not think so.
She reaches down a little bit and pulls the left side of the front part of her habit that she has and exposes a belt that is there where a old broomstick German Mauser pistol is concealed.
You're
Yes, that is.
Woman after my own heart. And I close my jacket and button it up.
I told you not to flirt with the nuns.
I'm not trying to flirt. She just, for some reason, matched with my thoughts.
Is he into horoscopes?
I have no idea. I truthfully have not known him that long.
Are you
I know
okay?
he is
like he
into
would be.
explosions.
Let's try not to explode anything while we're here, please.
Oh, I will try my best, but it's kind of my niche, for lack of a better word.
Right.
Uh,
She kind of
but I
looks
don't know
down the
how much-
street as the other sister is walking back, nice and casual, like doing the whole like hands together in front of her, like smooth glide. Your history check, by the way, the Bersagliari, they're light infantry.
Okay.
They're Italian light infantry. They go back to pre-World War I era. They're basically minimally equipped quick-foot infantry, and they have always served that function for their existence,
They're the guys that
I think they'll get upset
run
about a
everywhere,
shield.
right?
essentially.
Yeah. Just say it is a table.
Mm.
Why
Or
don't
frisbee.
you pull your shield and spear here now? Because if they're not worried about us being armed. You walking in as essentially.
Does anyone have any spare fabric? And maybe a stick?
Why?
We tie a cover over the end of his spear, make it look like cross underneath piece of fabric.
Mm.
That... Well, Smart, I feel like you're overthinking the situation. As long as you don't speak out of turn or pick any fights, I don't think anyone's gonna mind a handful more people being armed.
Well,
Alright.
alright then.
Just don't make it
I'll get.
very apparent that you're walking in here to shoot someone.
If I'm
I'll
not
teleport
walking
my,
in here to shoot someone, hopefully.
So anyway, I
Spear and
started
shield back.
She kind of shakes her head, looks over to the other sister as she comes walking up. Okay, we have a small problem. You're all here to help find a resolution, right? Perhaps speak for your superiors, whoever that may be, and find do some negotiation for us and them.
Yes, we're here to speak for Peter's order.
Well,
I glance over
might
at Peter.
be your best chance to do so. There seems to be another attempted meeting, so if you'll all follow me.
Okay.
All right.
And she'll kind of guide you all. Let me pan you guys over to the situation at hand.
Ah, darkness.
Darkness, my old friend.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
As
I
you
have
guys
one
come
hand.
to talk
Is that La Latina I see?
I have one hand in my jacket, very gentlemanly like the
Napoleon pictures.
Oh,
into like
jeez.
the rest of my jacket.
Civ 5.
Oh no, not Civ 5, huh?
It's a religious thing from Civ 5.
There we go. So as you guys come walking up, you realize the perimeter of houses and buildings quickly, they don't change in like dirtiness or damage or anything, but you can clearly tell where like the original occupants have been since kicked out, or removed, or just moved to another building or the back. Italy not having any Third Amendment as far as housing troops forcibly without your consent. And as you guys
See, this is why I'm a Third Amendment extremist.
as you guys are continuing on, you realize the outer perimeter, you're starting to catch some eyes, and you see various troops kind of mulling about and walking about, seeming kind of bored, sitting on various parts and stoops. As you're following behind the sister, if you want to scroll down to the bottom of the map, some of them are eyeing you, some of them are just sitting around chilling and relaxing as you guys continue down this path following behind the sister.
So those are the Bersagliari.
Some of them, from what you can see.
I mean, it's pretty obvious who's a Bersagliari. They have the thing.
They have big poofy black feathers in the side of their hats. Indeed.
They have armor.
They do not have armor. They're all just regular uniformed.
Oh. I meant that.
Can I make a perception check to see how heavily armed they are on average?
Yeah, those of you who want to, give me a investigation. And you are correct. They do have armor. You're right, Torn. My bad.
Ah, no, that's intimidation, not investigation.
Oh no.
11. Again.
Alright, let's see. That's a 16,
26,
11,
god dang.
26, a 13, and an 11. Hachu and Wilhelm to a good extent. Hachu especially. Wilhelm, you can tell, yeah, these guys are active military. They're uniformed. They have various rank on them. Some of them have submachine guns. Some have bolt-action rifles. There's a handful that have a couple extra grenades on them that are very obviously grenadiers, but they're very lightly equipped considering. It seems like they've been here for a while and have no reason to have the larger like venturing gear, the mess tins, canteens, because it seems like they've just kind of been standing around for the most part. However, Hachu, your ability to dress up and down bodyguards in the past really pays off here as you kind of dissect these guys. They have a abundance of some machine guns, of bolt-action rifles, of hand grenades, and they have all been trucked in off and on. They seem to almost be doing rotation, likely from somewhere nearby. As you guys continue walking and you get to the edge of the clearing of the grounds, you see, at least within your immediate vicinity, if there's this many by the front gate, you can assume all the other gates or entries to the monastery is absolutely coded. If you had to take a guess, there's maybe a good 100 to 120 troops surrounding this monastery and sort of besieging it.
Alright, we can take them.
You can take them until you guys get there, and that 26 and that 16 definitely notice. You're the first two to notice. Everybody else is able to draw your attention to it rather quickly, because all of you did get above a 10, thankfully. There is a pair of light tanks sitting by. Not turned on at the moment, but you can see the crew kind of leaning out of the top kind of sitting relaxed. They seem lightly armored, very primitive. They got machine guns and the little turrets. They're kind of
The
standing
FT-17
by.
copies.
Hmm?
Well, FT-17s. What is it? The Fiat 2000. It's the Italian version.
They're supposed to be Fiat 2000s, yeah. Just
Okay.
kind of sitting by little light tanks from the previous war. So they do have armor. There's a plethora of trucks scattered about. And all the troops seem to be just kind of sitting by or idly looking slightly upslope as you guys approach the edge. And let me reveal here to what comes in sight.
Meredith, does the grounds begin right at the grass area?
As she steps foot onto the kind of ruined old cobblestone and taps it twice with one of her hooves and looks back, it starts here, actually.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
This is a lot.
I need perception checks from all of you.
Ooh, 24.
Nice. I'll
I
take
see
17.
everything.
I'm happy with that.
24,
I also
21,
got a 24.
24, nat 20, and a 17. Okay.
Why do
Wow.
those guys have tricorn hats and bicorn hats?
That was the uniform of the Italian guard at the time. So as you
Okay.
guys are walking up, everybody notices except for Torn. Torn, you're a little bit bewildered by
Why do they have tanks?
the sheer amount of armor and Basagliari just surrounding this place. So you don't
Why
really
do they
notice
have tanks?
the
They're light infantry.
the troops up ahead of you. However, all the rest of you notice without any need to figure it out. There is a yellow-clad nun standing beside a somewhat taller than average kobold, black-scaled kobold. Standing to their left and right, kind of flanking them, seems to be some, probably what she was alluding to earlier, not officially uniformed, sort of, kind of antique in their design, Italian guards standing around the two of them, acting as sort of a guard. The, off to your left, all of you but Torn notice the, large, rather stern paladin. And standing next to him is a smattering of very up-armored, religious-looking, perhaps monks, paladins, knights of some sort. They are heavily armed, heavily armored, and they seem to be standing by rather impatiently. Ahead of you, the yellow nun and the kobold seem to be having a somewhat back-and-forth argument with what seems to be a very easy-to-spot, fully black and white-clad knight, likely of a Hospitaller order, and the superior sister standing by, speaking with them as well. Flanking them on their left and right, I would like a history check from Peter.
Ah! I ran out of water. All right.
Damn, nat 20.
Yep.
You can see the full fielded might of a expeditionary unit of the Knights of Malta. While there is actual knights standing by fully clad in plate mail, shields, spears at the ready, you can see the actual private fieldable army standing here. A lot of them still feeling their sort of conceptual designed Revolution Napoleonic era uniforms, but you can be assured that they all have the most modern of bolt-action rifles. Some of them do have hand grenades hooked onto their belts. This is a proper fieldable modern army manning the walls and the parapets of this monastery, as well as kind of acting as a forward guard with the nuns and the Hospitaller.
Well, the good news is they don't have any mornings.
Any mornings?
Because it's all nights.
Oh.
It took you a minute.
I'll put sugar in his gas tank.
Jeez.
That is brake line for me, would you?
The centaur kind of stops and looks back to all of you as you're kind of congregating around her. And she kind of subtly motions over and points to the tokens surrounded by yellow, the very heavily armored paladins and knights. those would be some of the Franciscan paladins that have shown up. I believe their commander is, and she kind of tilts her head a little bit, Grand Cross Commander Entore. He's from the Vatican itself. It seems the Franciscan Order actually has a nightly presence. And then she kind of motions over to the smaller group up front. That over there is the kobold and a nun that's been following him around. I'm not actually sure what order she's from, but she's been kind of attached to his hip this whole time. And kind of motions up a little bit past them to the others and the Knights of Malta standing by with some of the other nuns. Obviously, my siblings and brothers at the Order of Malta standing by as you cock a gun loudly.
I was actually just inserting the magazine. It was louder than I was expecting.
She kind of motions over to the Hospitaller Knight who's standing in full kit armor and all, having a discussion. His sword is out, and he has it planted in the ground with his hand on the pommel, almost using it kind of like a cane. That's Great Cross Paladin Alexander from the Order of Genoa. He's shown up of his own accord to lead myself and the others on this sort of venture. All of us hailing from Malta, of course, and the nun standing beside him is Sister Superior Mary. They've had about 3 days now of altercations and debates with these two. They're trying to gain entry. As you can tell, everything's kind of amplified with the explosion that went off not long ago. So, mind your words. We're going to simply approach and take our positions beside the Hospitaller Knight. So, step lightly. And I would like all of you to make me a
performance check.
Actually, no, I was kind of thinking about that. Performance check would be good. Everybody roll me performance.
Damn.
Oh, no.
Can I have some Viagra first?
No.
We don't have any bards this time.
Oh no, a party with no bards, how dare. 15, 13,
Still not
11,
bad, like
14,
average
15.
I think with the way Wilhelm was flirting, I would say he has a bit of a bod in him.
So, it's not terrible, but it's not great. You guys are able to walk up as casually as you can behind the nun. You're drawing some attention. One of the tankers are kind of looking over to you and taps the side of the hull as the driver kind of pops his head out and looks over. All 5 of the heavily armored paladins from the Franciscan Order are just mad dogging you guys, looking at you, like dressing you up and down, kind of assessing you. The 4 kind of reserve guards standing by don't really notice you guys until they finally look back. And you see the kobold that's speaking kind of stops mid-sentence, whatever he was saying to the 2, and looks back. And you can see him kind of dressing each of you up and down, his eyes lingering a little bit longer on you, Torn, for a few moments, as he's kind of looking you up and down. And then...
Hello, my name is Wilhelm Schwartz.
Is that how you open? Is that how you open?
No, but that's my
Please, that would be a great cold opening right now.
I need it. You
Yeah.
already said it
Oh my
out loud.
goodness.
It's canon.
Hello, my name is Wilhelm Schwartz.
The nun and the kobold kind of do a half double take and look to you, and then look to the sister, look to the others. The Hospitaller's kind of doing a little bit of a double take, questioning who the fuck are these guys, and then sees the centaur and gets the notion, this is, oh shit. And you see his shoulders slouch just a little bit. The nun seems to be flabbergasted that, who are these people that you brought up? As the kobold turns, looks to all of you. Hello? Might I inquire who you all are?
First off, has this maiden taken a vow of celibacy yet?
Looks over to the,
Are you seriously asking that?
To the yellow-clad
This is
nun.
my way to just like completely shock and awe right now.
The yellow-clad nun looks to him, looks to you,
All right.
crosses her
I'm
arms,
staring at him too.
and gives a no of her head.
Please,
Oh.
please excuse my
So
colleague.
you are available.
Excuse me. He's mentally deficient. However, he is a fantastic tactician. Please excuse his outbursts.
Ah,
Not a fantastic tactician.
tacticians
He is
arriving to the
fantastic.
blockade. Right.
He is fantastic at digging trenches, is what he is really for.
Yeah, perhaps
Um,
you're here to help us in the siege to recover some bodies that they refuse to relinquish to us.
Guys, sometimes you
no.
just gotta let the bodies hit the floor.
We are
no.
here to
I
learn
am.
more about that.
I guess step a little closer. I don't know, like here,
Alright.
next to the centaur. I am Father Peter Troikov of the Orthodox Order of Saint John, and I was asked by a long daisy chain of people to come here and see if I can help mediate what is going on. These are my security. We have been doing some dangerous things in other parts of the world prior to this.
I don't believe myself or any of the lieutenants have sent for additional, should I say, mediaries. And he kind of looks over a bit pointedly at the Hospitaller. You can't see his expression, but you can get the expression past the helmet that he is, like, glaring back at this kobold.
We have a vested interest in a good outcome for everybody.
As do I. Might I ask what your interest is, then?
Kobold's a friggin' studier dude, and I'm just here for the weather.
We are here to
Man,
gain-
Wilhelm here is having violent personality swings in the middle of this conversation.
Are you sure? Just sure the Great Warrior Olorin didn't mess with him?
It
If
is.
you can't tell, I'm playing up my character right now.
We are here to gather a more interesting and useful look on the situation, as we are misinformed on both sides.
Yes,
Since
before we.
You seem to be the only two educated of your group, and I'm glad you are not like our other brethren.
Educated.
Perhaps we can go have a small
I know
meeting.
poisons and chemistry and artillery and physics and
Right.
Please, Kolbasa,
Boinking nuts.
tone it down some.
Father, if you and the kobold and perhaps one of your less direct members of your party would like to step aside with me, I would be happy to share a cup of tea with you and catch you up on the situation. Of course, if you are here to act as mediaries, you are free to speak with the Hospitaller here and his sister after.
I would like to speak with all of you as the time comes.
The Hospitaller steps forward, pulling the sword out of the ground and kind of plants it again as he takes 2 more steps forward. No, we will not be speaking with them with you present.
Is
As
he
you
like
can
gesturing?
see-
Does he mean speaking with us, with the kobold present, or
Yes.
speaking with the kobold with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the kobold kind
Uh,
of gives a little brush of his the side of his head. As you can see, we've been at a diplomatic impasse, and they will not let us enter.
I am sure we can take a moment and speak to each of you in private to find out, at the very least, the beginnings of this situation. I was only given.
Yeah, with my Russian friend. Perhaps my silver tongue can sway his religious reluctance.
Ah, that wouldn't happen to be the smuggler gentleman of the bayou, would it?
Perhaps so, sir. Perhaps so. Jean
Yeah.
Lafitte reborn.
Kobold, you find yourself in the oddest of company. That makes me question the size of this world.
In my life, I have discovered it is surprisingly small.
I'll say. I didn't think the inheritor of the Copeland would be here. Which now has me questioning Who exactly sent all of you?
To make sure I don't say anything stupid, I walk over to the other knights. I'm just like, cool digs. Who are you guys?
One of the Maltese soldiers looks at you, rolls his eyes. Order of Malta, catch up.
No, I thought he's over by the yellow guys. Those are the Franciscans, aren't
Oh,
they?
you're walking to the Franciscans. I thought you were walking to the Maltese guys. Oh, God. As you approach them, one of them lowers a halberd towards you, like, stay the fuck back.
I'm keeping my distance. I just was curious because y'all look like bunch
You
of
hear
really...
a very deep, like, heavy breath behind the metal helmet.
I'm going to take him and drag him back.
Fine.
Come on, let's go. Don't touch anything.
Perhaps our good German friend here should have stuck to flirting with a nun.
Perhaps if some of you would like to accompany her into your, hopefully, quaint monastery, I'd be happy to speak with the few of you here who bear some semblance of couth and education.
I have education, I just don't have couth.
And he kind of motions to Torin, Pewter, and Mr. Leroy to follow him as him, the guards, and the nuns start walking back past all of you, back towards the blockade area.
All right, I'm going to gesture to the Hospitalers and say, I will be back after I speak with this kobold.
Very well, I'm hoping you're the ones that we sent for.
I walk up to the Hospitaler when they get
I believe my my friend Nikos here can speak with you about that.
Very well.
Yeah.
Can I possibly roll to stick my cane out and make Mr. Schwartz fall on his face and not go anywhere?
Please don't do this, god damn it!
Moment.
Roll me sleight of hand.
Oh shit, hang on. Where's the stuff?
This diplomacy is devolving.
It's
It's
not.
that's absolutely deplorable.
So
Hello, I am
this is
Wilhelm Schultz, and now in about a minute, we're tripping this guy.
Nope. I don't know anything, okay? So I'm on the
That's
counter.
perception. Okay. Oh,
what's
you're
up,
tripping.
Torin?
as a show of good faith, Torin is gonna give one of those very professionally rehearsed formal bows to the Hospitaler here and go,
Yes, we have been called. As a show of good faith, we are of course going to speak to your friend here.
Gives a nod and raises a hand. I understand. Just don't take too long. And he'll turn and, with the nun, starts walking away. So 3 of you will go with the monastic order, and 3 of you will go with our kobold. So who's
Quick question,
going?
Cardinal Sin, we're splitting the party.
You
Oh
decide
god!
again.
I know.
Kobold
Not
is
you, do you
sweating
wanna come with
bullets.
us?
Say again?
Did I succeed the sleight of hand? That's what I want to know.
Yes, you did. You
Yes,
tripped
you
him
did.
up,
You
and he
succeeded.
nearly falls on his face. People are
Yes,
No, I
just
do
I'm-
call my
underplaying
You must
him
forgive my
entirely.
German friend here. He is not used to the humid climate. It's clearly gotten the better of him.
So many
Could we see him to a
explosions.
medical tent?
I will be fine. Just give me a minute. I'll stay with Nico, and I won't do anything rash.
He just needs his opium.
Thank you.
I'm just going to pull out
Touch
my
you in here.
handkerchief, as every proper Southern gentleman has a handkerchief, and wipe his face while trying to hide it.
Oh, the map is black.
Yep. So
That's
we
very
will
sensible.
do a scene transition here. Oh my god. So it looks like Peter, Leroy, Torin and Hachu are going to speak with the kobold.
Yes.
Okay.
Hachu,
Yes.
are you going? Oh, you're going with the kobold too?
Yeah, I'll go with Cobalt.
All right. And we'll have Wilhelm and Nikos head into the monastery with the others. So first we'll do this. The four of you follow beside them. They have the guards standing by, rifle in hand, but they're not like keeping you at rifle point. They're not eyeballing you. They realize you guys are here diplomatically, and nobody's really giving you side eye per se, except for the paladins of the Franciscan Order. Those guys just seem ready to fucking go at all times. And he'll walk with you guys as you go back past the little perimeter and blockade, and enter.
As we go past the Franciscans, I am going to give them I'm going to give a polite wave to the heretics.
None of them react, but the one that seems kind of in charge, the more senior paladin in the order, just gives a very like slow nod towards you.
Okay.
As the four of you follow behind the nun and the kobold, as the guards kind of stand by and you guys enter a recently occupied house. It's very clear a small family used to live here and have probably been displaced for a while now. As he sits down at the dining table and the nun starts preparing some of the tea nearby. Please, please, take a seat, all of you.
Kobold takes a seat.
All right. I'm going to sit. Well, like, what kind of table shape are we looking at
It's
here?
a little kind of like round dining table. It's got about 8 chairs around it.
All right. I'm gonna take the seat directly across from the kobold, the black kobold.
Okay.
Not Torin. That could lead to weird seat positioning if I sat directly across from Torin.
I'll just take whatever seat's last.
How do you sit in a chair?
I curl my tail up.
Underneath you? Wouldn't that, like, because
He
you're like
makes
10 feet long.
He makes a zigzag shape and just like sits his would-be butt on it, but like he's still coiled around the base of it.
Okay.
And Leroy, I'm assuming you take a seat with him as well.
No, Leroy's going to stand and lean on his cane and be okay with that.
Okay. He kind of looks to all of you, looks at the sister. She comes back, sets a little tray down, and like puts a teacup in front of him, in front of her seat, and then offers for all of you, setting the teapot before you and the teacups in case you want to pour some for yourselves.
Torin pours.
Alright. Torin will pull himself some tea, and the kobold's in there, takes a little sip, looks to all of you.
All right. So if the kobold takes a sip, then I'm gonna also take a glass, but I'm gonna wait a minute to drink it. We'll see what he says first.
I would like a teacup and a saucer, please.
Alright. You're able to grab one out of the middle and pour yourself some.
Got a sip with my pinky finger sticking out.
Performance check.
Nah, you're able to drink with that. You could do the pinky.
Burn your mouth and spill it everywhere.
The kobold kind of looks up at you. He's wearing kind of a white dress shirt. He has a similar kind of attire to Torin. White dress shirt with a kind of greenish vest over the top of it. He's got his little pocketbook. He's got his dress slacks. A very similar design. Very much a sort of gentlemanly, sort of scholar look. And he puts both of his little clawed hands to the teacup and looks to you. So tell me why a Cossack, a Prussian soldier, a Yuan-ti, a hoplite, one of my shorter kin, and the would-be smuggler of the bayou are here.
Well, I myself have a vested interest in the history of this establishment, and I'm very keen on learning more about it specifically, and as hearing it's in a precarious situation, I had to be here.
I'm curious how you learned of its situation, though. You don't simply stroll up as a obvious band of mercenaries.
We were taking a rest in England after spending some time dealing with some things that we are restricted to by contract from discussing.
Private
Up.
investors.
up in the Scandinavian region, and this came to me via some contacts I have with obviously contacts I have. I am a member of the clergy myself, but via some friends I have in the Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia. Some news about this, and with my relationship to the Russian Orthodox Order of the Knights Hospitaller, I wish to come here and see what was going on for myself and see if I can mediate as an outside party. This does not seem like the kind of thing that good Christians should be fighting over.
That's where you would be somewhat surprised. I have no vested investment. Listen to me. I have no reason to be here longer than I have been. In fact, I was meant for a meeting in Germany until this came to my desk. And I believe we can maybe find a way that both parties involved. You see, the Franciscan order believes they own this little monastery and the bodies underneath it, considering most of the bodies underneath are in fact of the Franciscan order itself. However, the nuns and those inhabiting it don't wish to relinquish these bodies, and have taken quite the effort to keep safe them. Now,
Do you know
little-
why?
Well, I do not. I was hoping to find out. However, of course, my charter did not inform me why they need the bodies. You see, what's the name you might know them by? We used to go by another name. However, since the acclamation, you see, as of 2 weeks ago, all of our private investors and explorers and would-be historians have all fallen under an umbrella. The Italian National Archaeology Association has deemed all historic findings fall to the military, and as such have, promoted me to Director General of the association.
Might I ask what your profession normally is?
I was a historian.
It is the evil twin of you.
Yes, this is very coincidental.
Are you a student of history as well, I take it?
Boston, yes.
Ah. Quaint.
I'm sorry to intrude you as a historian working for the Italian military. Don't you find that a little bit problematic?
How so?
Well, perhaps this is just an American stereotype I've come to learn, but they feel, from where I was raised, that the Italians are not necessarily the best at the preservation of historical artifacts.
He takes another sip of his tea slowly, sets it back down. You see, you have to realize you can't preserve history of your own accord without the funds and personnel to do so. Much like your friend Mr. Copeland here, I was quite invested in the changing of doctrines and government orders and what have you of the southern hemisphere of South America in my youth. But I realized there's so much more money in the acquisition of baubles and trinkets of the obsessed and borderline occult-like of European nature that I found myself in this profession. We're still
Torin
preserving
clenches
history.
his teacup.
Hmm?
Torin clenches his teacup.
You see, we are still invested in history and preserving it. We're simply acquiring said items for persons other than ourselves. They're not simply going into museums, they're being put to use. They're expanding on our future. And who am I to question that?
They're gonna put a bunch of mummies to use.
Yes, do you know what the Franciscan Order's actual interest is in this?
I'm entirely unsure. However, if my history doesn't leave me, I believe the founding of their order was in fact buried here. And if I was to put money on it, I believe they may be trying to recover some of their original founders and perhaps some of their more notable persons of interest. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, although I believe I am in good historical company, that this monastery in specific houses the folk heroes, the legends of various religious orders of the past. If I was to assume by the lack of magic and other possibilities on the grounds, is perhaps to keepsake and preserve them in a sort of temple.
I'd like to, would it be history or religion to check and see whether or not he's right about that bit about who's buried here?
Roll me a history check at disadvantage.
At disadvantage?
You know, the Franciscan order was very secretive compared to a lot of the other Italian orders. So unfortunately, you do know, yeah, that seems within the realm of something they might do, but you can't really put a finger on it to know for sure.
I would like to roll as well.
Peter beat me to it. I was gonna ask if he was right.
Oh, does everyone? I guess everyone's rolling.
Yeah, if anyone else would like to, go
sure,
for
why
it, but
not?
at disadvantage.
Okay, how do you roll for disadvantage?
You can just
Dang.
roll twice and take the lower, or you can toggle the disadvantage button on the top right of the character sheet.
At the top right.
Right above where it says initiative.
Got it.
Dang, Torn.
Hmm.
And Leroy.
Of course, Torin would roll that high.
Another 13, 11. Yeah, so Leroy and Hachu, yeah, about as much as Peter might know. It's relatively secretive. You've heard about some of the, almost like the Greek-style heroes of religious orders are sometimes put up, and you'll understand that they'll become like saints and things of that sort. But that's about the edge of your knowledge on it. You know that they like to make saints, and sometimes they like to build churches around grave sites of holy people, but you've never really heard of anything to this extent or why. Torn, you have a trace amount of knowledge of a saint who, when they were buried, were essentially magically entombed to be protected from outside forces. This was done up in Ireland way back when. Although you don't recount more than that, but you are a little more familiar with examples of safeguarding very important persons and would-be heroes of religious orders.
Can I perhaps try to do a wisdom check to see to try to deduce if he is being deceptive in any way or if he might know this?
You can roll me insight.
Yeah, I'd like to do the same.
Roll me insight if you want to try to see if he's fibbing you.
Damn.
Damn.
He doesn't see fuck all.
At disadvantage or normal?
Normal.
Oops.
At normal.
Come on, baby.
You
I
still
still have
rolling
disadvantage.
See,
Whoops.
15,
Do you want me to roll that again?
11. We'll stick with that one for now, but yeah, just make sure you toggle off. Yeah,
There,
Torn,
got it.
it seems like he's telling the truth. It doesn't seem like he has any reason to lie to you. Leroy, same thing. He seems to be telling the truth. Peter, yeah, he's not holding anything back. It seems he only knows so much. Hachu, you get the implication with your, I think having the experience and kind of dressing people and how they talk and what information they give, you get the notion he knows a little bit more than he's letting on, but it might not be as applicable as you would like, but it seems like he's holding back on a little bit.
Cool.
And he kind of taps the teacup again. Well, you see, I was originally chartered to come here and help the Franciscans gain entry. When they gave a stubborn resistance, I called in my personal guard, of which the government has allowed me to use freely. When that show of force failed, they then decided to bring in some knights and paladins, and as such I figured a equal show of force by calling upon the Bisagliari, stationed just nearby, to encircle the area.
Are you hoping that they'll leave, or are you prepared to go further if they aren't?
Yes, I hope storming the monastery is not on your list of planned.
It is not on my personal list, but as it seems to have gone to a higher status, I am quickly losing my ability to finagle what I would like to see happen out of it. The diplomacy is quickly slipping.
Yes,
and I feel those who chartered me may be pressing to see this accomplished sooner than later.
The sister mentioned something about an explosion happening.
Ah, yes. We believe the Knights of Malta may have attempted a sort of faux attack on themselves in order for us to perhaps react. Were it not for the training of the troops there at the time, they may have started firing immediately.
Since the nuns have explosives.
Just to cover all bases, there is no possibility of a, say, third party who wants to see you to fight.
No, of course not. Aside from yourselves and other would-be foreign assets who perhaps wish to cash in on the same thing that the Franciscans are going after.
Frankly, I have no idea quite what this is the Franciscans are after. That was one of the things that intrigued me about this to begin with.
Me as well.
It's a very strange thing to do.
They wish to extract bodies, I'm assuming, of their founders, but to what ends and to what they wish to do, I do not know. Nor is it my problem to worry.
They seemed very standoffish. Are you talking with them regularly, or are they just kind of standing there glowering at the monastery?
Oh, the Franciscans. Well, they've been men of very few words.
Are you concerned about them?
How so?
Well, you two clearly have different intentions here. Aren't you worried about them clashing, perhaps?
He gives the most genuine shrug you can kind of see. Not necessarily. As long as the bodies are extracted, I still find myself with pay, and in a higher light of my superiors.
Is there any sugar for this tea?
Of course. And he looks over to the nun who gets up, walks over, gets a little tray, sets it down. It's got a little bit of cream and some of the tea cubes on it and stuff.
Alright, I need a sleight of hand to take an impolite amount of sugar cubes.
Alright. Give me a sleight of hand.
Have this little fuckers hopped up on a bunch of sugar. Oh god.
You're able to pinch in and grab like
It's gonna
5
be
cubes and a little pillar
bouncing
and drop
off
all
the
5
wall.
in.
Thank you.
Bro's literally drinking syrup.
I would like to ask, however, I am rather intrigued, Mr. Copeland. What brings you here?
I'm just here so I don't get fined, sir.
No.
Oh, you missed something. Hang on, you missed the part where they're not supposed to know. This is obviously out of character. Where they're not supposed to know that we're working with the OSS. And the cover story is that we're here with the Knights Hospitaller.
Hospitality.
The Knights of St. John, you know how to pronounce it.
The Hospital Knights.
Yes. The Orthodox side of the Knights Hospitaller.
Yeah, the child touchers.
Shut the fuck up.
Tell me I'm wrong.
The Hospitallers
You
were
are
chill.
wrong.
You are wrong.
I will stand in my wrongness, and I will be right in my own mind.
Because I have an association with the Knights of St. John. Just so you're aware.
As to why I'm here, sir, I am merely here as a favor to my Russian imperialist friend here, of whom I owe a debt. And to that I will not speak. It is between he and I. However, he has requested my expertise. And until that contract is complete,
in our encounter, of which I cannot really go into for reasons I stated earlier, I learned that he is quite the smooth talker and thought he might be useful in a situation such as this. It seems you two know each other, however.
He is indeed.
So,
I know of him, although he might not remember me, as we merely spoke through documents and never in person. He was quite, should I say, capable when it come to smuggling arms and munitions to would-be revolutions in the Southern Hemisphere.
I can believe that.
Not of what you speak, sir.
Of
My
course.
hand. But it does make me want to roll on a, investigation to see it, or what would it be?
To do what?
So think about who he might be.
Roll me history to see if you remember. Ooh,
Damn.
coming in with that 20, okay. Jogging your memory, you recall, you don't know what they were, but you do recall one of the people that were working for France as their sort of front man that was basically commissioning you to smuggle the arms and munitions into Brazil, was of French descent. You only knew him as, let me double check the name here so I don't misspeak. Craven. You knew him as Craven. He worked with the French, and he particularly commissioned you during that time smuggling arms and munitions into Brazil during the Communist Revolution.
I'm trying not to look at Torin right here and wonder if there's some correlation between the name Craven and the particulars for avoiding combat.
There better not be.
That's it. Jump over the table and fucking strangle him right now.
I can't remember. Did he introduce himself to us earlier?
He has not.
So I look at the kobold curiously, and I furrow my brow, and I can perhaps connect the dots, but I'm not entirely sure because I feel like I need more evidence before I can go off an assumption. Assumptions never end well.
Understandable.
I do not believe we have gotten your name yet, sir.
Ah, yes, I have yet to introduce myself, have I?
Where is your outrageous accent, sir?
Well, as stated earlier, I am Director General of the Italian National Archaeology Association. Most call me Craven, but my full given name to my birth parents was Antonucci.
So it was you.
Are you saying that loud enough for people to hear, or?
No, I am. I'm saying that in a low tone. I'm saying that in a low tone of recognition.
Quite.
Might have to speak with you later, sir.
I wouldn't mind catching up. It has been a while since the last commission. You were held in relatively high regards by the various French, should I say, smuggling groups. However, that said, I wish to know who the rest of you are, and once again, it escapes me what company or endeavor you represent being here.
We all have our own vested interests. They're all different.
Ah, they are different, but they all revolve around the same thing.
As I said earlier, I am Father Peter Choikov of the Orthodox Order Hospitaller of St. John. I guess I'm going to reach across the table to more formally shake his claw.
He'll reach forward and kind of take your hand and give a kind of brisk short shake, and then retract it back. Well, it's a pleasure meeting you. I will say, I was hoping for more, should I say, well-traveled treasure hunters, but if you can find a mediary, then I see no reason why you cannot assist.
Thank you.
You seem
Is
to
there
take
any-
exception to that title. Is it incorrect?
For me, yes, I am not sure for Mr. Copeland here. And
Speaking more
Thorin
so on...
just likes to look at things.
I am a preservationist.
See?
Very well.
The others, it is people who I have met in my travels. I have been doing some rather dangerous work, ranging from missionary work across the Pacific to some things I cannot get into in Scandinavia, as I said. It
I
is-
will not pry. I understand a recent, how should we say, uprising of occultists clad in bearskin seem to be attacking some farms, last I heard.
I'm gonna try and keep a straight face and say, "Oh, that is very interesting. You have heard of such things."
Roll me a, persuasion.
Damn.
Yes.
I have +5 on this shit.
Yes, it is interesting.
All right.
Damn.
Well,
I believe after our meeting, I should go speak to the.
yes, I would invite you to do so, as they have ceased having any more ground with me. And I have, unfortunately, delivered them an ultimatum yesterday. That
And what would that be?
they are to relinquish what the Franciscans are requesting of their own land. And if they should keep the Knights of Malta on this sovereign soil, it will be considered an invasion. As you
And
see,
did
the
you-
land surrounding this monastery belongs to the Franciscan order, not the Knights of Malta.
And did you give them a time frame with this?
48 hours.
That is quite the ultimatum.
You see, I have many places to be, including Germany, tomorrow. I am traveling with a Mr. Ciano to perhaps arrange some trade deals. And I would like to be done with this, if possible by today, but I understand how tenacious and observant religious types can be of their practices. So
I
have
take
given
it
them
you are
48
not-
hours.
I take it you are not a Catholic yourself,
Oh no.
Mr. Craven?
No. I am more of a metallic belief.
Impatient, a good historian does not make.
Raises a little bit of a brow and looks to you.
I hope you understand in me asking you to at least give me an extra day extension on that, given that now as more of a third party I can perhaps make some more headway. Although,
Unfortunately, my hands are tied. And if I was to give more time than I already have, well, it won't only be my head that would be rolling. They have 48 hours from an hour ago. If you can find ground with them until then, the army will be able to leave, and the Franciscans will be happy, and the monastery should still be standing.
That said, I do understand your position. I would like to know if, after I speak to the monastery people, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head because I'm going full fucking retard right now, if you can arrange a meeting between me and the Franciscans.
The Franciscans aren't so much on a talking endeavor, hence why they brought me here in their stead.
Still,
They're
I
merely
would
here
like...
as a show of force and formality for the bodies they wish to recover.
Still, I would like to try at the very least. There is no
You're
harm in
welcome to
asking.
try,
Okay.
but I cannot guarantee they will give much ground if I wasn't able to get any.
Okay. Perhaps they will be a little bit more accommodating to a fellow man of the cloth, even if he is of a different denomination.
Perhaps.
Yeah, at that, I think I'm gonna get up, shake his hand, and we're gonna, I guess, go back across the lines to speak with the monks.
Before you leave, I would like to inquire one thing. As you've asked me many questions, I would like to ask one more of you all.
Go ahead.
Ask.
Who exactly do you work for? Was it Torin?
My surname is Levencroft. I'm a curator of the Boston Museum of Unnatural History. I was raised by the Levencroft.
That's interesting.
Define interesting.
Well, I knew Levencroft Sr. in his youth. He was a very inspired man, and I can
How old is
now-
this kobold?
Give me an insight check. He was a very inspired man, and I find it rather interesting, but also very understandable that you would display many of the paths of patience that he very routinely harped upon.
I'll roll that too, why not? If my page will load.
Very well, you all may
There we
leave.
go.
And I hope you the best in your endeavors to find a middle ground. If you
Damn,
do not
that
see
old
me, I
bitch.
will be leaving within the next few hours. As I said, I am needed elsewhere and have been here for 2 days too long. Thank
Is
you.
there someone who we will be able to speak to in your stead?
Ah, yes. Either, and let me scroll here. You will either be able to speak to the Basagliari Lieutenant, Alessio, although I have not seen him for the last day, as he is likely looking to the amenities of his troops. Or, perhaps, if you can, the Grand Cross Commander Passio Torre, the large Franciscan paladin that you saw earlier.
All right.
Torin is visibly rattled.
Oof.
Thank you.
Okay, do the rest of us see that, or do we have to roll a perception check on that?
Roll a perception check.
Thank you for the
I did,
conversation. It
I got a 19
was-
for the insight, how old that guy is.
Yep. Of course. It was a good conversation. I'm glad to see there are other historically pursuant kobolds like myself.
It was polite and insightful. And thank you for the tea. I will be going now.
Thank you again. I hope to speak to you again and get this resolved fairly quickly, but who knows?
Yes. Those perception checks. Yeah, he seems nervous, but like,
No, no more than he is normally.
no more than he is normally, at least to you, Leroy. And But Peter and Hachu, yeah, I mean, he seems nervous. He seems a bit rattled. You can definitely see, but you can't tell just how rattled he is. Hachu and Peter on that insight check. He seems old. Seems older. That 19, definitely a bit older. You know, kobolds can live upwards of 120 years. This guy, though, of all the kobolds you've seen, especially Torn kind of being your standard for what to expect of kobolds, he's got about a foot height on Torn. Or on Torn. I'm looking at the fucking names on the screen. He's got about a foot height difference on Torn, as far as,
So he's a
overall height.
4 foot
He's
tall
got
kobold? 5 foot tall kobold?
about 5 foot
Everyone's-
tall, and his horns
Okay.
are a bit more adorned and present. He stands up from his seat, gives a nod as all of you are able to walk out, the yellow-clad nun kind of walking behind you, ushering you out, as she'll escort you guys back up the path, by the tanks, by some of the troops standing by, and the guards standing by, up and to the front of the monastery, where they will deposit you guys to enter in past some of the guards. However, we will now pan over to Nikos and Wilhelm.
What a tool! What a government iron tool!
Are you okay, Thorin? Perhaps your exclamation should wait until we are inside and out of earshot of the said government.
A shameful
Who has tanks, Thorin?
Torrid is proper bad. Alright, we pan on over to you two being ushered inside. Let me pan over here to a new map. Hey!
That we
Oh,
can't
it's
see.
all black.
Yeah!
Yay!
Why is it so black?
Someone strike a match.
Oh no.
It's a rabbit. That's why.
My matches are a little bit more explosive.
Not because you're a rabbit, but because you're black.
But because you're black. There we go.
Ah, there we go.
You guys have been ushered into a somewhat larger dining hall within here. Everyone's been sat down. You've been offered some food and water, a little bit of wine if you should want some. As the Hospitaller Knight sits down at the head of the table, puts the helmet down on the table, and kind of leans forward. He's a very old, chiseled, tired-looking old man. Contrary to the very old, more senior Sister Superior sitting beside him. As they both kind of look to you, the Centaur kind of towards the back corner, and 3 other Knights of Malta standing by the doors, standing guard.
So I just want to let you know, I'm not as dumb as I seemed outside. I was trying to play some things up because the enemy that doesn't know your true abilities can underestimate you.
I'm not worried about what appeal you're trying to make. I'm only wondering if you can get us out of this situation.
Well, I can't say
Hopefully.
for certain, but yeah, hopefully we can come to some type of agreement between all parties involved.
We probably need to understand the situation a bit more first.
You all seem rather uninformed, and that is understandable considering the information can't be,
Consistering.
yeah, considering the information can't just be released so easily.
I hope that you are able to release it onto us and tell us your, at least your version of events.
He kind of looks over to the sister. She gives a bit of a nod and looks back over to the two of you. Many important persons to more than just the Franciscan order, but both the Order of Malta, the Knights Hospitaller, the Knights Templar, the Knights of Jerusalem. Should they ever actually die, the Knights of St. Lazarus, the Knights of St. Mark. There are many persons, many monks, scholars, and heroes, as many would know them, would be saints buried under these grounds. The reason they are buried here and not elsewhere, unfortunately, is foreign to me, but I have been assured the reason is, if they were not kept here, both their bodies and souls would be in danger.
I take it this is some type of sanctified ground then?
Precisely. This is among some of the most holy ground in any of the orders I have been accustomed to.
Sorry, before we get into this, I figure some amount of introductions are due. I am Wilhelm Schwartz. My colleague, I'll let him introduce himself.
Nico Zagvaros.
And we are with the OSS.
OSS.
However, on our mission here, we've decided that the OSS's involvement in this might not be to everybody's liking. So we are feigning being essentially mercenary or obligatory companions of Peter Chikovich.
Chikov.
Chuikov.
Peter Chuikov. So that way the OSS involvement is not directly known. Now I know you called for the OSS, so you know of our involvement.
Yes.
But in the event of us being around other persons,
we understand that if things should go wrong, one of my priorities is to ensure that none of you remain around. I understand your involvement, and I understand the ramifications that come with it. Rest assured.
Thank you. Before we got into anything, I wanted to make sure that was very much clear.
Of course.
Now,
I should introduce ourselves. This is
yeah.
Sister Second Novitiate Meredith, and my personal aide. I am Great Cross Paladin Alexander of the Hospitaller Order of Genoa. I'm currently in command of roughly 80 knights and soldiers of the Knights of Malta, who have been brought here on a short-term mission to protect this monastery at request of Sister Superior Mary.
Sister Superior, Your Holiness? I don't know how to exactly.
Sister.
No, I meant for our master, Hospitaller. I don't know what would be a good address for you.
Simply Paladin.
Okay, Paladin, and Sister Meredith, or
Mary.
I understand that you're soon to be a fully fledged sister.
She is. She is currently 2 years into her endeavors to become a full paladin of the order.
Ah, a centaur paladin. That would be a very interesting and actually really effective person.
Please do
Is she
not
being
continue
trained as
oogling.
infantry or cavalry?
Well, what I'm saying is, obviously, traditionally in
Or a
the time of
dragoon.
the Crusades, the paladins obviously rode horses, and I don't mean any disrespect, Sister Meredith, but having a person who had lineage of equestrian background would definitely
Your
help.
excuses to ride a centaur have been noted, but it will
I'm
not
not
happen
wanting
here.
to ride a centaur. Listen, I'm just saying a paladin with their certain bonuses being mounted is helpful when that person cannot be dismounted. From a tactical standpoint, it makes sense and is awesome. Regardless, let's move away from that topic just before I make myself.
So anyway,
more-
the bodies.
yes, the bodies.
We understand that some of them are of great importance. For example, we believe they wish to recover the founder of the Franciscan Order of Friars, Matteo de Baschio, I believe his name was, who has been buried here since 1552. He is only one of 300 who have been buried here, and more whose names are unknown.
What are the ramifications if these individuals are removed of just the Franciscan order, let's say?
He kind of gets a little frustrated, but kind of points his attention towards the superior sister, who kind of looks down a little bit. I suppose it cannot be hidden, so I suppose I should relinquish it. The sisters and monks here have been entrusted in keepsafing these various bodies and persons through a sort of mummification. When they are buried here, their souls and bodies are protected. While they are not allowed to go to any afterlife, be it heaven, hell, or a waiting place, their souls are protected. Unfortunately, all who are buried here have targets on them. Should their souls leave holy grounds, they would be corrupted and manifest into lesser demons. Many of those who are buried here having altercations, or perhaps even made, I think you would call it, deals with the devil to enact God's will. And as such, results in them being in a sort of limbo as to who should obtain their soul.
Got you. So it's not even the sake of undead rising up, it's the sake of full-on demonic incursion into the world. Were these bodies extricated from their resting place?
Yes. Not all of them, but we understand many of them were buried here. While it does prevent them from returning to an afterlife that should be befitting of a saint or a warrior of God, we also cannot allow that, as was evident in early records, that those who made deals with demonic entities and lesser gods to carry out God's order often found themselves being corrupted, and quite powerful in their corruption. As you can understand, utilizing the blessing and power of God for a demonic purpose creates quite a problem.
Is there a way of cleansing a person of their corrupted nature, or warding off the corruption outside of this holy ground?
If there was...
And aren't the Franciscans aware of this also?
If there was, we would have likely found a way by now. And that is part of our problem, why we cannot. They know them to be of potential demonic possession and empowerment, yet they still wish to withdraw them. I believe they're wishing to harness these powers.
So
And that is something we cannot allow.
So at this point, we're in kind of a middle of a he said, she said type of scenario where they're just saying they want to
Recover the
essentially,
bodies.
yeah, extricate their brothers in faith, and you have no clue what their actual means are, but you suspect the harnessing of demonic powers for their own gain.
That's what we can assume. If they came here wishing to actually extradite the souls to bring them to peace, they needed only say that. But they didn't.
Alright, so in this fashion, I mean, I obviously, we would need to talk with our other compadres and see if there was what the other party gleaned from their conversation with the kobold. But obviously, it would be simple to say we can't let any of these bodies escape unless we want to incur the wrath of potential demonic
Demons.
incursion on Earth.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good idea.
Exactly. We unfortunately had to turn against our own fellow monks and brothers and sisters, and it is quite the situation.
Have any of your fellow brothers and sisters started behaving unnaturally, contrary to how they normally behaved when they came to your order?
Yes, a pair of monks from Rome arrived from the Franciscan order, alleging that they wished to inspect the catacombs. While down there, they attempted to cast some form of spell or magic that one of our nuns caught and stopped them. However, this resulted in her death and a physical altercation. This then expanded into half of our monastery leaving the grounds and returning the next day with the Franciscan paladins. Shortly behind them was the darker kobold with his Italian guard, and then just shortly behind that arrived the Italian army.
From what I understand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, this hallowed grounds actually does not allow for magic to be performed. Is that correct?
No magic can be performed or cast on this ground, which is why it was so alarming that they were managing to do so.
Okay, that is definitely interesting. Now, does that stop even divine magic? So, like, myself, I am an arcane caster. However, Father Peter is more of a divine caster. Is all magic blocked?
Only certain, what do we say, flavors of divine magic is applicable.
Now,
and it
does
is
that
limited only to healing and blessings.
Okay, so certain schools of magic, such as restoration, as opposed to like destruction or illusion.
Yes.
Okay. I don't really have too many questions for you. Maybe one more. Did the sister that unfortunately perished, was she able to ascertain the nature of the magic being used?
She gives a solemn shake of her head no.
I do not wish to be insensitive here, and if I am, feel free to let me know. Is there a possibility to extricate that sister from the immediate area of influence as to the anti-magical sphere, for
You
lack of
wish
a better
to
word?
speak with the dead?
Yes.
Unfortunately, all who die on these grounds find their soul entombed within the catacombs.
Okay. Thank you. Nikos, do you have any other questions?
You said that their souls are entombed in the catacombs. They trapped down there like ghosts? Could we speak with her that way, perhaps?
They are at peace and in a rest.
Okay.
How about now? This is just a little bit. I unfortunately am not the most religious person, and probably not the right person to confer with on this. But through prayer,
Lutheran bastard.
What's that? I'm
I
not
said
the religious,
Lutheran bastard.
not the most religious as compared to you, motherfucker.
I'm more religious than he is, apparently. So
Are you able to possibly pray to your deities for guidance or for potential mediation between these spirits and yourself?
She gives a very solid, stern shake no of her head.
So as far as you know, once these souls pass into the afterlife, for lack of a better word,
They can be reached within the afterlife. However, the reason they are here is because they unfortunately
make it
can't
to
be
the
given the chance to do so.
Got you. So it's essentially more of a fact that their souls are attached to this location.
They are
And not-
entombed in this location. Their souls are attached to demonic and devil-possessed entities.
Gotcha.
As I said, many of them undertook darker pacts to enact God's will.
Got you. The nun in question, obviously, did she engage in any dark acts?
She seems almost a little off-put by that question. No.
I'm sorry to ask in that blunt of a manner, but sometimes you have to be blunt to get the answers out as soon as possible.
She stumbled upon the monks when they were down in the catacombs, and they killed her.
So, to your knowledge, do you know if her soul has passed on, or is it locked to this place due to the demonic nature of most of the other souls here?
It is locked to this place by the function of these grounds.
Okay, so anybody who dies on these grounds is also locked in this place, regardless of if their connection to demonic origins
Yes.
or demonic possession. Okay. Okay, so I can't think of anything else to add as of this point.
Neither can I.
I feel like that was probably the most in depth we can get to without trying to, as the saying goes, beating a dead horse.
Very well. You hear a
I
little
really
knock
give
at the
a
door.
small, like, really, really very timid glance to Meredith to see what her reaction was to that statement.
She's not paying attention. She's looking at the wall.
Okay.
Bro
so I
is
think
still
I-
trying to flirt with the literal horse girl nun.
No, I'm sorry, saying being a dead horse around a fucking centaur just seems a little uncouth.
You guys hear a little.
I think
quick,
we've established that that's par for the course for you at this
oh,
point.
yeah. You hear a knock at the door as it opens, and one of the Maltese soldiers leans in and looks to you. The other members of their party are here, so good, send them in. And the
Inconsiderable jackass.
Is there a potential we could talk alone just to kind of...
He kind of
Go
rises
over
up
what
from
we
his
learned.
seat as the other 4 members of your party enter. That's precisely where we are going. We are going to leave you for a while here to discern a plan while we go maintain the perimeter and ensure things are okay. Once you are done, come find me, and we will give you a quick tour of the grounds so you know what to expect.
Thank you very much.
And he will exit, she will exit, the centaur will exit, and then the 3 knights will exit behind them, leaving the 4 of you entering in, seeing the 2 of them sitting at their table.
Comfy chair.
I'm
Okay.
just curious. Is this room lit by electric lights or by candles?
Electric.
Okay.
It's
So,
got the modern amenities in this place.
I want to let you all know. I am
Shit's
not
fucked and we're all gonna die.
I'm not as dumb as I seemed outside. I literally was playing a farce of who I actually am so that they would suspect less from me.
I'm still pretty sure you want to have sex with that horse lady.
Well,
That
they,
is neither here or there.
Please do not flirt with the nun.
I'm not flirting with a nun anymore, I promise.
well, they
however,
certainly expected less.
Sometimes you just gotta look at the haunches.
Are you okay?
Oh, what the fuck?
Regardless, okay, what did you all learn?
That they're fucked.
Who's that is a very general statement.
Sorry, haven't been this mad.
He is very angry that his evil twin is in fact his evil twin.
It's not
No,
my
he
twin.
actually is an evil black kobold.
He is not my kin. He is not evil. He is simply stupid.
Stupid
I
in the
mean-
fact that he's being manipulated, or stupid in the fact that he's
Everyone
maybe
has a chance for
unintelligent?
redemption, but
He's
still.
a sellout. A shill. A disregard to the entire community in which he came from.
He's the director of the Italian, or he's the director general of Italian military archaeology or something such.
Right
Big
on.
shot.
He seems to really not care much about this at all. It's just part of his job. Although he has issued an ultimatum that they have about 46 hours to hand everything over, or the soldiers storm the monastery.
Okay. So I will say,
What did you
from
learn?
the standpoint of the monastic order that is actually inhabiting this place, many of the people mummified and buried here are here for a certain reason. As we have heard from Meredith, these grounds cannot be. People on these grounds cannot cast magic unless it is in certain schools, such as Restoration. I didn't catch all the schools, but I know Restoration is one of them. So that does help you in a little sense, Peter.
Does create food and water count as restoration?
I think that's technically abjuration, but abjuration might be allowed. I didn't ask. The big deal is that most of the people buried here, in the name of good, essentially
Done some
sold their soul
sketchy
to,
things.
yeah, they sold their soul to the devil to do good things.
It sounds like a very Catholic thing to do.
Can I roll Arcana on this?
You can. What would you like to know
and-
with the Arcana?
I'm just specifically like the whole demon possession thing, and more like the magic fucking.
Yeah, can I hit that with
Field.
religion?
You can.
I'm just gonna stay
And
here.
their
The only thing I
souls
got-
are being
in-
protected by being here. If their corpses were to be moved, then that protection goes away.
essentially demonic possession, possible demonic uprisings in the world where these bodies are moved to.
Yep. Pretty much these are what you would call the Arcana and religion is actually pretty good. Nico's kind of hit it on the head. It seems that these are religious members, be it paladins, clerics, clergy, monks, what have you, who opted to take a more fallen path or taboo path, tapping into the darker entities to empower them to carry out.
heretics.
Yeah, they are. More heretical belongings to enact what would be considered good things that would give them perhaps election towards sainthood or things of that sort. But considering they did it in the way they did, and because their soul kind of can't necessarily be on the up and up, because they kind of gave it away to do other things, they're kind of put in a sort of stasis here on this holy ground.
Is that something that can be? Because obviously the concern here is those demons being taken and potentially used. But is that a controllable force, or
With
is that just...
With that 21 Arcana, just like making a deal with a dragon or a deal with one of the greater gods or various pantheons, you cannot break a soul barter with a demon or other entity of that sort. They are guaranteed, and if you try to keep it from them, they will actively try to destroy you to obtain that soul.
So
The warlocks of the Catholic Church.
Okay.
Essentially, yeah.
So, gosh, how are we? How demon are we talking here? Like black murder hobo creature, or like?
We did not
You
ask.
don't
We
really
didn't
know.
ask,
You didn't really ask,
but
you
any
also don't
demon is
know.
still kind of bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
From what we've been told, as far as the grounds here, Sorry, zooming in because I accidentally hit the wrong button and the whole thing zoomed out on me. From what we were told, the beings in so not just anybody who has actively made a quote unquote deal with the devil, but anybody who has died on these grounds as well enters in this sort of stasis where their soul is bound to the monastery. If their body leaves, their soul leaves. Once their soul leaves, their soul is able to be acted upon by outside forces, for lack of a better statement. Am I missing anything, Nikos, or does that sound right on?
Yep, that sounds about right.
I
Okay.
see no success here with reasonable application.
The main success I have is keeping the people outside, away from coming inside, and to try to do that in the most diplomatic manner as possible. However, that would
How?
mean kind of telling them versions of the truth that would suit their needs. Peter, you have any ideas?
You didn't bring up the whole nun being killed thing, did you?
Oh yeah, that was gonna be part of my whole people who died here. So, along with people being died, so at one point, Franciscan monks did come in here and they were performing some sort of ritual, in the lower levels, which was essentially being allowed by the magics of this place, without being blocked. A nun stumbled upon them and was killed. Her soul now being essentially attached to this place. But it looks like that type of ritualistic magic was being allowed. I don't know what type it was. Obviously, with the nun being dead and being bound to this place, and us not being able to use magic, we can't just simply speak with the dead. And that's what we pretty much gleaned from our conversation. Nikos, like I said, is there anything I'm missing?
Well, there is the fact that I'm pretty sure that the Franciscan Knights outside are aware of the fact that removing the bodies would be a bad idea.
So we possibly have a order of demonic knights, for lack of a better word.
Potentially.
The problem is they think they want the demon.
They think they want the... Oh, yeah. So that was the thing. They were saying that the order looking to grab the bodies were trying to use the demonic powers to their own ends.
What if we gave them one?
Is that what the Black Kobold said, too?
No.
He
That's what
had
I
no
said.
idea.
So he's essentially just being a middleman to all this.
He's a shell.
He's a shell.
Shell.
So there are possibly larger forces at work ordering him and ordering the others that are outside to do their bidding, and being as most of them are military folk, and anybody who's in here who's been in the military knows that sometimes you just follow orders.
It really just seems that powers in Rome are supporting of the Franciscans. And that is about as far as it goes. The Franciscans themselves are headquartered in Rome, so they would obviously have more sway over the government than a small monastery in Palermo.
Now, is there a chance that we can put this on hold and visit Rome ourselves and get a little bit better?
Do you think you can get there and back in less than 46 hours?
Yeah, we have a time limit.
That's valid. I mean, there's a chance that some of us can, but that means literally spooling up the aircraft now. It's probably only a couple hours at the most to get to Rome. But then it's getting there, getting an audience, getting them to understand what we're saying, and getting a response back in time before those 46 hours.
I don't foresee that working.
I'm gonna turn to Leroy. and I'm gonna say, you seem to know a lot of people. Do you by any chance know anyone who could quickly get us an audience with the Pope?
In all my times of dealings, I can honestly say that I haven't had much influence and business dealings with any religious orders. That being said, it doesn't hurt to try. Perhaps one of my contacts will have a contact.
Does your father have any type of dealings with at least the Vatican City?
I do not discuss family business, sir.
That is perfectly okay, and I understand that, and I apologize for overstepping a bound if I did.
What about you, Thorin? Your, for lack of a better term, family seems to have some level of connections.
Not as many as you'd think. Not in this political realm. We're acquisitions. We're not. More global politics.
Maybe we can hit this from a multi-edged sword. Peter, I think your presence here at least garners a bit of respect from both sides. Nikos, your skills in general, and probably your faith. I have yet to ask what that is. Garners a very modicum of a good modicum of respect yourself, and then Hatshu, you're a very intelligent being from the very small conversations we've had, which is probably null to nothing, which is literally what null means.
He's a sneaky snake.
Maybe I can go as a protection element to Leroy and Torin, and I hate to say this, but possibly split our focuses and try to get that audience in the next 46 hours while you all try to diffuse the situation here? If I'm in the wrong, just let me know right off, and that's fine, and we can come up with a different plan.
I don't know what help I could be away from here.
Okay.
I don't even know what help I could be here.
I mean, we can definitely change our guys or our makeup of our different groups. We can take Peter with us, because Peter being a person of repute is very good, and you being a person of knowledge possibly can use your own intellect to satiate parties on both sides for the time being.
For the moment, I think it would be best that we all stay here. Perhaps Leroy and Torin could send off some telegrams to see if they could gather any friends of friends and get a letter of introduction, as it were.
Hey.
Another question: could we potentially send the? It would be hard because then people would know our involvement. But if we send the commandos, or maybe the commandos with a Knight of Malta, sorry.
A Knight of Malta.
Knight of Malta. A Knight of Malta to the Vatican to kind of speak their case, it might be received differently.
Hey.
As of right now, we know that I almost said Gregorian order, but
You're on a roll today.
I know, right? The Franciscan order has that benefit of being close to the Vatican. If maybe the Maltese Knights were in that area, they might be able to at least state their case and come up with a different order or a different result with us still remaining here.
Damn it. Oh.
DM, I already asked kind of a similar question to this, but like, what would I know about like the volatility, perhaps, of recently freed soulbound demons? Is that something of a slow burn, or is it almost an instantaneous escape?
It's kind of a there's a very broad spectrum. Just as there's a very broad spectrum of deities, demons, and devils, and other sort of packs that can be made. Yeah, it could be a slow burn, or it could be a very aggressive, violent explosion. There's a very wide realm of what it could be.
Out of character, we don't know if this is gonna happen immediately or if it's gonna be like
Yeah, I
something
know.
that shows up in the future.
Doesn't
That's what
seem
I'm
like the
asking.
people housing them here know either.
Gotcha.
I wish that was something I could narrow down through
How
knowledge.
does that idea of sending a Maltese knight, or sorry, I guess yeah, Maltese knight to the Vatican with our our transport to possibly garner one solution while we stay here and garner another? How does that sound?
I do like that idea, but we would have to ask the Maltese first.
All right, is there anything
Perhaps
else
they
we
have
need
already
to do?
tried something of that
Gotcha.
sort and has not. Apart from that, I would like to go see the place where this ritual was being done. See
Well-
who it was being done on. Find
long-
out what
so-
the sisters know.
How long has this conflict been underway? Is that something I'd know? Or-
Out of character? The initial argument happened about 2 weeks ago. However, it's been about 8 days of slowly escalating forces.
When did we get contacted?
You guys were informed about this about 3 days ago. No, 4 days ago.
So I feel like in any situation to ask any questions regarding sending a Maltese knight or looking at the ritual site, we need to call them back in to discuss it with the superior sister and the hospitaller knight. Is there anything we need to discuss before we call them back in?
I don't think there's a clear route forward here.
I guess we call them back in then and maybe get their input on the situation and see if they know anything else that we don't.
I'd like to ask him about the characters kept within the vault.
Well, I feel like
Personality
that,
archetypes.
I feel like that's also a point of like where the ritual was held. It's also good to ask like what type of people the ritual was held on, and the type of people in here in general can all be.
And who they wish to remove.
Yeah, that would be a big thing. So, do you want me to go and find them and bring them back?
Yeah.
I go out and I try to find the superior sister and the
They're,
night hospital.
They're right down the hallway from you, giving you some space.
Okay.
So as soon as you poke around, one of them looks, gives a nod to the other two, and they come approaching back and enter the room back with you all.
Okay.
And they end up taking their seats. The Hospitaller Knight kind of looks at Torn for a moment, and then continues walking and just takes another seat further down the table.
Thorin's in his chair.
Master Knight, I'm sorry that our Kolbau's friend took your seat, but the other head of the table is open for you if you'd like to do that.
It is no
You
worry.
offer him the other chair.
It is no worry. Have you come to a decision, or perhaps some insight into our predicament?
First, we would like to know if you perhaps beseeched the Vatican for its input on this.
The Vatican? Why would we reach out to them?
You are all Catholics, are you not?
Yes, but
He is the top of all disputes, and I believe the only person who the Franciscans would truly listen to.
I believe you may be slightly mistaken. The Knights of Malta operate outside of papal control. As far as
Do
the
the
Franciscan
Franciscans?
order goes, I am unaware they even had paladins until a few days ago.
What do you fear the consequences?
Can I
of-
roll a history check to see whether or not that's actually a new thing?
You can.
Whether or not I know?
Yeah, you can roll a history check. What's up, Torn?
What do you feel the consequences of all of the stored remains here being exhumed?
Fuck.
Damn.
You've been very out of the last 20 years of international religious orders.
I rolled a one. Fuck.
Yep. You've been very out of the circle of recent happenings and evolutions of.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not even Catholic, man.
You're not even Catholic anymore. You're Orthodox, so you wouldn't know at all. Or you just have no idea here. It kind of looks to you, Torn. We would rather not like to entertain that possibility.
I would rather not either.
The party.
But
So
theoretically, of course, the outcome.
The outcome would be a spawning of demons and corrupted bodies, perhaps souls who... I will be honest, we don't entirely know. But we know some of the deals they have made could result in the loss of souls that should be mourned and protected, not allowed to be destroyed by their dealings.
And
Who do they want to take? Apart from Francis of Assay.
Matteo Baschio, who is the founder of the Franciscan Order, originally made a deal with a greater devil. It was what allowed him to obtain the funds to begin the order and make it what it became later in its life. However, you are right, we do not entirely know. And it has been a very long time of keeping these souls and bodies here without really testing the practice.
I have an idea that nobody is going to like.
you're gonna take a body out, aren't you?
In theory, not the one they want. I need, or in theory, say you were to garner one of your most aimless, perhaps wrathful souls here, and disguise them as the one they want, and offer that as a deal.
Kind of looks down for a moment in thought.
Oh,
I
bad.
suppose that could work.
The other option is annihilation.
Let us take that idea and put it aside for the moment.
Peter's
So-
like sweating.
Like, no.
So one
Let
of the things
us
we were
not do that.
So I understand the Maltese order, or the Order of Malta, is obviously outside of papal control or papal control. I don't know how to speak.
Yes, they are.
Potato control.
Yeah, potato control. However, is it something that they can at least talk to the papacy and explain the situation if we were to arrange transport for one of your higher lieutenants or captains to venture to the Vatican?
He
I don't know
leans-
if
He leans back a little bit and kind of looks over at Peter. Much like your Orthodox friend here, while falling under the same cascade, are separated enough that their attendance and speech will not garner any respect or carry any weight.
that ruins that plan. Second thing is we're trying to keep this situation from devolving into any sort of violence, because once guns start blazing, I have a tendency to not hold back on mutilation of live corpses.
Well put.
Damn, son. But if this comes to violence, there is really no winning in the end. It's not like the monastery can just move, and if a company of Bersaglieri get killed, then the Italian army will simply send more soldiers until everyone here is dead.
Our main objective is to protect those nuns and monks of the monastery still loyal to its original mission. We are not here to fight an entire company of army. We will only delay them to keep safe and escape those who need it before retreating ourselves. We have no reason to be invested in this location ourselves. This is simply a favor to a sister order of ours.
Well, in the event that things do come to blows, extracting those who are non-combatants doesn't seem like it would be that much of a problem, given our transportation modes.
We can't fit everyone on the plane.
This is no fight that we can even hope to weather. Look at what's out there.
I mean,
oh no, we can totally win this initial fight.
You
It's just
also
we
have
can't
already
win the next
spoken
one.
with them, and I believe them already knowing you to be mediaries may be more watchful of you if you try to come and go.
I'm saying that at the very least, we are in a keep, and were things to come to a head, at least being in a keep gives us a defensive front, and if the first assault is held back, and we have a means to extricate, we have also a means to transport in some fashion a number of people you have here. Probably not everybody, but a number. That's just what I'm saying.
In semi-related things, I heard there was some kind of an explosion yesterday.
Ah, yes. A
You wanna elaborate?
unknown, ununiformed group of about 4 persons. One of them looking actually somewhat similar to you. And he kind of motions over towards Leroy. They approached from the Bersaglieri lines and managed to sneak up to our secondary wall, and it seems they tried to place charges and breach the wall. The charges were unsuccessful, and they retreated before we could descend on the location and figure out who they were. However, we did uncover, I'm actually glad you mentioned this, we did uncover this. Let me find it real quick.
So,
And
saboteurs, you say?
they seem to be saboteurs or perhaps instigators looking to cause something to happen.
So you said their charges didn't go off. Do you still happen to have their charges?
The charges went off, but to minimal effect. They did
Damn.
not manage to breach the outer walls.
Damn. Alright, well, that does not help me in the way I wish it would.
How deep are your catacombs? How far do they go?
Approximately 3 stories underneath us.
We're standing on 3 stories of dead people? I'm just kidding. That was out of character.
Yes.
And you wish to not perish in this place.
I
I
would
figure
prefer
nobody
that.
wants-
More so for my troops than myself.
So, what's stopping you from leaving now and letting this happen?
He gives sort of a longer look at you. The army and their archaeology association that they are following under does not seem to uphold to the sanctity of these grounds. It was simply to come here and assist the inhabitants but we very quickly found ourselves more involved than I even would have liked.
Does the sanctity of the grounds come from the grounds themselves or the monastery built on top?
They
Just pick up the monastery and take it with the bodies.
No, I was actually
He
thinking more of the
kinda-
fact of
he
collapsing
kinda
the
looks
monastery
over
on top of the
in fa-
catacombs.
he kind of looks over. In fact, it comes from one specific tomb. The original
tomb?
body buried here. Their name is unknown, but they were a young girl who, as legend would go, gave their life to profess the word of God and were killed for it. In their
It's either Joan of
martyrdom-
Arc or Mary Magdalene.
No, they were 11. And they were
Definitely
killed.
not Mary Magdalene.
No, they were killed for their profession of God in the city streets, and as such, were martyred and buried here. Shortly after, it was realized that magic and faith was especially strong, and would eventually lead to the original abbey being built over the location.
Can we
of
see that
course,
girl's tomb?
is rather deep in the catacombs, but yes, we could.
And
I would
how
also
far
like to see where the Franciscans were doing their ritual.
That we can do.
How far are those from each other?
As well as the body of the nun who was killed.
Quite near each other. The body is also laid to rest down there. Yes, we can show you these locations.
Out of character, would we like to make this our stopping point, or do we want to continue on? Because it's
We could pause here if you would
11:45.
like. Yeah.
I would
I'm trying to
appreciate
find-
it. I'm
yeah.
pushed.
I figured you were falling asleep, yeah. I'm trying to find the
You're not. It's
symbol.
not you. It's me. I promise.
I got you. I'm trying to find
It's
the
me, I
fucking
know. I asked the most
symbol.
boring questions.
Nah, they're
I
perfect.
just realized too, we are in
Hello,
intelligent...
my name is Schwartz.
Hello, my name is William Schwartz.
You
I
make me
also
think
realized-
of. You make me think of the dude with the boutique shop and jacuzzi in the fucking Frozen movie. That's who
Yep.
you were.
So it's funny because we are essentially a party of intelligence-based creatures.
Here we go. Yeah, as the final note, he pulls it out before offering to give you guys the tour of the location. He pulls out and he has a chunk of a jacket sleeve. And he kind of slides it across the table flat for you guys to look at, where there is a symbol kind of like heat stamped into the sleeve, almost like a patch would be. They were bearing this mark.
History.
Are we all rolling history, religion, both?
In fact,
Investigation would
this
be
is
all I
one
got.
that even a nat 20, none of you would know.
Cool.
It's a lantern. It looks like a lantern.
No.
I'm rolling just based on friggin' fun at this point.
Yep.
Hello, my
We're
name
gonna
is
fail.
William
Might as well roll anyway.
Can we gain anything from rolling?
No, low key with this one, no.
I'm doing it anyway. You better give me something, anything.
A 20 religion check, huh?
That is an iconography of
It
religion.
is. It is indeed a gaslight lamp.
Man, we're being gaslit this whole fucking... This whole thing, it's not real, man?
Ending on a gaslight.
It is
Wow.
indeed a
Damn, roll the
gaslight.
one.
It is a gaslight. I can tell you that much.
Also,
Luke is
according
gaslighting
to
us right now.
I am.
according to Google picture search, it is also a lamp. So
Thank you,
Torin,
Google.
did you hit us with a history check? You getting a 30 is our only chance to get anything out of this. Damn.
You only rolled a 9, man.
19. It is indeed a gas lamp. Specifically, the design and shape of it is those native to London.
We're being double crossed.
Kobold has many ideas, and all of them are extreme.
Kobold has many ideas, and all of them are stupid.
They're not
No.
stupid.
Kobold
They're
is actually
incredibly
a
well
fair
thought
hat.
out.
Advanced.
Cobalt is literally just a tin hat, like, conspiracy theorist among us.
That would be amazing.
He's like, Kobold Loki kind of wants to see the entire fucking Italian history department completely destroyed. So
You're just angry that there's a nationalized military historical group.
oh, furious. He wants it. He wants it over forever.
Damn it, I didn't get used to. I didn't get
Speaking
used
of,
to
one of
all
the other things I'd like to do is see if they have any records and then sick the kobold on them.
That's valid.
They would have a record room.
Yeah, that's smart.